What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey Shake 72 coming to you guys with a live stream, an early live stream, not too late, but obviously to talk about the Steven Nelson signing. Couldn't believe it. I honestly could not believe it. I was sitting here and I was like, I was home today and I went on Twitter at the right time, and literally 3 minutes ago from that time, the news came out that the Eagles have signed Steven Nelson. I was so happy. I knew this was going to happen. I had a feeling it was going to happen. Like, Steven Nelson took way too long to sign. Like, he wasn't signed. The Eagles were still after him, and it finally happened. The Eagles get their CB2, okay? And couldn't be any happier about it. This really shores up. Obviously, signing Steven Nelson doesn't really say that, Zech McPherson is a bad player. It doesn't say that he is not going to be developed right. But, you have to give these guys some time. He's a fourth-round pick, and we're just going to see what he's made of. And maybe he'll get some playing time. You never know with this team and how they are with injuries, obviously. But I'm happy about it. I know there's a lot of Eagles fans that are not a big fan of Steven Nelson whatsoever, and I hope that some of you guys could, be happy about it. You know what I mean? Like, Steven Nelson waited until after the draft. When there's solid free agents still available, okay, they usually wait, and they don't want to sign just yet. They want to wait till after the draft. This way, they have a secured starting spot, and that's what Steven Nelson did. There was a lot of teams after him. Okay, Steven Nelson, I think last year was ranked the 12th best corner in the league last year as a number 2. Okay, play on the opposite of Joe Hayden the past couple seasons, 28 years old. Okay, he's physical off the line, and you know what? The guy can cover. The guy can do it. I think put in a good scheme, but now it's up to the coaches. It is up to development. It is up to a lot of different things, okay? Howie Roseman, I got to say, I don't like Howie Roseman whatsoever, but I have to say this. It was a pretty good offseason with little cap space we had. I think the first day of free agency, we had about $3 million in cap space as of right now. And it was something to really cherish and look at. And I was really happy about it. I really was. Howie Roseman's looking good right now. He has. I think this draft went pretty well. And I think that this signing here really showed that we obviously looked at corner and we weren't fine with it, and Howie Roseman, did us a favor. At least they're starting to make sense of some of these signings, and I think this really kind of amplified it a little bit. So appreciate, I don't want to ramble too much, but appreciate everybody coming in tonight, early stream. We're going to be on here for a little bit. Might have a guest later. I don't know yet, but definitely excited about it. We got a super chat for Philly 500, the co-host of the Philly Shakedown podcast every Saturday. So you guys haven't checked that out. Okay, so we got Steven Nelson. Hell yeah. Send you a text. Checking my phone. Gotcha. I got it. Yeah, so Philly 500, I know he was very happy about it. I texted him immediately when it happened. Texted a couple other people as well. Appreciate the super chat, man. Much appreciated, bro. It was really exciting, guys. I have to say. I mean, I'm happy we have a corner in here now, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Zach McClain says Jonathan Gannon is one of the best DB coaches in the league. Yeah, just look at it this. With Jonathan Gannon, he was a cornerback coach with the Colts, but look what he did, though. He turned Xavier Rhodes' career around. A corner that got a big contract from the Vikings a couple years later, didn't really pan out too well after that contract, went to the Colts and balled out at 31 years old. So, I think Jonathan Gannon using these cornerbacks, it's going to be... It's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. So, Nest out west of Philly Foothills says, what's up, Joey? Coming from as a San Francisco Giants game with Diego, says West Coast Birds in the building. What's going on, man? Guys haven't subscribed to the Nest Out West. Subscribe to his channel. He covers a lot of Eagles content. So much appreciated to the Nest out there in the West, baby. There you go. We got a super chat from Bergang31 says, Howie Vision, baby. Great pickup. We are living in Howie Vision, but this is a positive Howie Vision. This isn't a bad Howie Vision. You got to really look at this and say, you know what? This is what we needed. It's starting to make sense. So, obviously, Jonathan Gannon definitely probably has some, has some things to say. Probably in Howie's ear. That's why with this draft and some of these signings, I think that, Sirianni's been in Howie's ear a good amount of times. I just think that Howie's in check on the things that he does do. But I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy about it. Let's see here. Commissar says Howie is doing what he's supposed to do, and he built a solid roster, but he doesn't deserve an extension. That's what we're going to have to see, guys, is Howie Roseman get this extension. But look at this now. Now, if Howie Roseman gets fired, this is going to be really crucial because the Eagles potentially have 3 first-round picks in 2022. That is going to draw so much attention for a GM job. GMs are going to line up at the door for the Philadelphia Eagles. If they have 3 first-round picks, and depending if Jalen Hurts plays good this year or not, it's really going to make a huge difference of what GM does sign here, and I think it's going to make a huge difference. So, anything could happen, you know what I mean? But definitely, there are Eagles fans that comment. I'm not really sure about Howie Roseman myself, you know what I mean? I think he needs to be on a leash. He needs to be one of those GMs that needs to be on a leash. That's why when Joe Douglas was here, I thought, Joe Douglas was always a second opinion when he was here, so we'll see. Jalen Hurts, what's going on, man? His thoughts on Deshaun Watson. Well, I heard the news today. Sorry, I got. I've been sneezing today. Thoughts on Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is showing up to Houston Texans training camp. So I don't know if they're going to try to mend that bridge back together so he stays there. I mean, this is going to be a wait-and-see approach with Deshaun Watson. And obviously, we got to see how Jalen Hurts plays because that's very important. Someone asked me on Twitter today about, if Jalen Hurts does play bad, then what are you giving up for Deshaun Watson? I think from so much time being wasted and how much time has passed by and that they still have a bad relationship, I think, they're not really going to have too much leverage because if the player doesn't want to be there, I don't know how much compensation you're going to give up. I'm saying a first-round pick, maybe a mid-round pick, and a pick for another year. I don't know. I think you're only going to be giving up a first-round pick and maybe then some mid-round picks or something like that. So that could definitely happen. So just look out for that. We got P-Taz as we making noise this season. I got a good feeling, man. I think this team is going to surprise. I'm very comfortable offensively. Defensively, I'm still, I need to see how the pieces do fall together. But Steven Nelson was a huge signing by the Philadelphia Eagles. Huge signing. Primetime Stefan, what's going on, man? Sparks says we got him at a good price. I thought $4 million is not bad. That's a little over what he wanted. He wanted more than $3 million. The Eagles went $4 million. I don't even know if we have cap space anymore now because I think we only had about $4.5 million in cap space. They released a defensive tackle. I think his name was Willie Henry to make room for Steven Nelson today. So I'm not really sure. How much money we have now, but it's definitely not much. Dollar Bill's a Super Bowl, baby. I wouldn't go that far. But definitely really, really happy about it. Really happy about what they're doing. Jock says, Joey, now we got 2 starting cornerbacks. 2 starting caliber corners. And if you guys remember, Darius Slay the past month and a half has been talking to Steven Nelson, trying to recruit him, saying you'll be looking good in midnight green. And, I think Steven Nelson had some training videos up. And, we saw that Darius Slay and him were chit-chatting a little bit. So it seems like they got a really good relationship. So very happy about that. Very exciting. Tyler Dodger said, I think this is a really exciting roster and team. Very excited. I haven't been excited about a team, especially in offseason. I think because a lot of the baggage is gone. A lot of the stress is gone. No Carson Wentz, no injury, bug receivers and Alshon Jeffrey. There's a lot of players that are gone. Deshaun Jackson's gone now. I mean, we got rid of a lot of dead weight and a lot of guys that have been kind of piling up the veteran favoritism. We haven't been giving these young guys a bigger chance. So, it's really exciting. I'm pretty pumped about it. Spark says Doug probably was part of why we drafted so poorly. I think the development aspect is why we drafted so poorly, and obviously Howie Roseman probably having more control than what he should have had is probably a bigger reason why as well. But definitely Doug Pearson is one of the major parts, not the huge reason, but developing players is where we've been struggling and drafting as well. But at the same time, when you let players go like Rasul Douglas and Sidney Jones and they go to other teams and they play really well, then you have a bigger problem here. So we're just going to have to see how the developmental coaching staff, this new coaching staff we have, how they do, and it should be exciting to see. So, let's see. Fareed always says, well, yes, sir, welcome to Philly, Steven Nelson. It's really nice to say that. Lord Dagger, what's going on, man? Jay Koch, what's going on, bro? He says, what's up, Joey? Do you think Gannon will be creative with sending linebackers in court? Oh, on blitzes, 100%. Gannon has discussed blitzing. He's definitely going to have a lot blitz with his linebackers, what Jim Schwartz did not do. Quarterback blitzes, obviously those are, something to where if you can get away with it without giving up a big play, it's a different story. But I think we're going to be blitzing a lot because with Jim Schwartz, we did not blitz. Barely. He depended too much on that defensive line, and it was way too much to really look at. So I'm hoping there's going to be changes with that, definitely. Let's see. The Ohana Means family says that means no Xavier Howard. I really wanted him, but I'm glad we do not have to give up compensation. I think that's the biggest thing because Xavier Howard could have worked. Definitely, the Eagles had the compensation to do it, but just say you have to spend on a quarterback next year too. So if that happens, you're giving up 2 first-round picks. If you have to get a quarterback and you get a corner this year. So I mean. I'm glad they didn't do it. I want Steven Nelson the whole time. Xavier Howard is definitely better 100%, but I think solid cornerback that could play really well in a system when, is coached the right way. He's a veteran guy. He's a young veteran, so give the guy a chance, see what he could do, and, let's just see what he could do, man. It's really time will tell. Time will tell, but I'm more comfortable with Steven Nelson being here. That's definite. Joe's Kicks. What's going on, man? I still feel a big-time trade coming, hoping not Watson, but maybe still going after Howard and putting Nelson in the slot. I don't think so, man. I think they're keeping Nelson on the outside. Cornerback 2, and that's it. I'd be really surprised if they go after Howard, but I just don't think it's going to happen. This is not the right time. Financially, it's not the right time. The Eagles taking on Xavier Howard's contract, we can't afford it right now. So they would have to do something to his contract to free up a lot of money this year and give him a big chunk of change next year. So I don't really know how they would do it. I really don't. But I think you have Darius Slay on one side, Steven Nelson on the other, and obviously a big competition. In the slot for the nickel cornerback spot. Whether, obviously we saw the news of LeBlanc signed with Miami, so they did not bring him in. So obviously you got Josiah Scott, Avonte Maggs. Can he survive in the slot? I really don't know. It's just going to be a wait-and-see approach with that and to see how that goes. Zach said, how he ain't going anywhere. People need to get over the DK and JJ situation. DK broke his neck, and Doug Pearson, who didn't want Jefferson. And we missed out on a lot of players. That draft with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside missed out on A.J. Brown and Terry McLaurin. I mean, you go down the list, you missed out on a lot of receivers, and J.J. is probably the only receiver that has not worked out from that draft. So I think times are changing here in Philadelphia. If Doug was the coach coming into 2021 this season, I know it wouldn't be great. I know it wouldn't go well. So this coaching staff made a huge difference on how the front office does a lot of things. So Lord Darius says, what's good, Sparks? There is 128 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Go over Eagles news all year round. Check out the Philly Shakedown podcast every Saturday at 9 p.m. with me and Philly 500. And if you guys have not, obviously, check out the links below. We do a lot of content. Every day, mostly. It's been a dead month, obviously, but obviously this signing really it's very exciting. And training camp is Tuesday, right around the corner. So check all that. We're going to be covering every day of training camp. It's going to be very busy in the next few days, so very excited. Thomas Boy says, what are your expectations for Nelson this year? To be honest with you, just cover well. I mean, it's really just him to play solid, and if he has to man an island for a little bit, he just got to play well. He's just got to he just can't give up big catches, and that's it, really. I mean, he just has to be put in the right position to win. I think that's what's most important, and hopefully Jonathan Gannon can take his skill set, use it the right way, and just get it done. Because if you have a pass rush this year, Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, we need to see a pass rush this year. We're honing in on a lot of guys. Milton Williams that got drafted in the third round, Teron Jackson drafted from Coastal Carolina at defensive end. You've got a lot of guys, and I think it's going to really show this year. That pass rush is going to be very important. There's a lot of money on that line right now. And then if you got good coverage, it's hand in hand, guys. This is how you get sacks. When when an extended play does happen and you have good coverage, gives the defensive line more time to get back there and make a play. So I think Nelson's just got to just prove that he's that number two, and and we haven't had a good number two in a while, and legit. I mean, Nelson is legit a good number two. I mean, his numbers don't lie either. So, Kendra Rome says now we're blaming Doug for draft picks. You people are ignorant at best. Chuck Biles says, "How good do you think our secondary could be this year?" I think with Steven Nelson, I think it would be good. And I think obviously that, like I said before, that pass rush will help. How we use some of these linebackers, the big linebacker competition, signing Eric Wilson, a guy that came from a Vikings team with a lot of injuries and just came up and became that leader. I think it's gonna show really well. I think it is. Troy Singleton says, Howie has finally done a great job in the offseason, but I would wait to see how the season goes before I sign him to an extension. Yeah, definitely. But how many times is Howie Roseman going to say, well, it's the development process. It's the coach's fault for not developing these guys the right way. That's a whole different story with that. You know what I mean? How many times could Howie Roseman blame the coaching staff when he keeps drafting? Obviously, making a pick like Devontae Smith kind of maybe saved him. I don't know. But this team in 2021 for the Philadelphia Eagles, they have to look like that. They have to look like they're taking a good step forward. So if we don't win the East, which I highly think they can, I really think they could win the East. It's not because of this signing. I always thought they could win the East this year, especially this team that surprises us. I think they're going to be a tough team. I think Sirianni is going to have this team punch a lot of teams in the mouth. This team is going to come out swinging this year. So very excited about that, really. So Natty Banks 03 says, really hope Kevon Wallace takes a big step at safety this year. Future leader. I want to see if they actually do 3 safety sets this year. They've been doing that the past 2 years. I don't know if they will do that. I mean, we need to see. We need to see what he could do. Not enough playing time. And you could say that about the wide receiver group. You could say that about the linebacker group. You could say that about so many players on this team that didn't have enough of a chance. Like, coming in on injury is one thing, but if you are the hot hand and you don't get enough playing time, and you get veterans that come back and you just get benched again, it is what it is. But obviously Anthony Harris, huge signing for the Eagles, and then, 1-year deal, obviously. But Roddy McLeod, coming off an ACL, and he says he's coming back week 1. He's going to be ready. So, McLeod, this is probably going to be his last year as a Philadelphia Eagle, most likely. I mean, I'm glad he's back. Because, I'm not a big McLeod fan, never really have been, but down, in the past, I kind of always looked at it and said, when he's injured, you can really miss a beat with this defense, definitely. But I'm not really the biggest McLeod fan, but when he's not in the lineup, it definitely hurts. But hopefully Anthony Harris will pick up some slack and be that player that I know he will be. So, good question there. Let's see here. Chris Marino says, we need to sign Dickerson now. And I think we do, guys. I mean, I don't think we have any money right now to sign him. So, obviously, a contract will come, hopefully, before the season starts. I don't know. They're going to have to free up some money because they're not getting rid of Zach Ertz, apparently, which I don't believe. It says he's staying, but let me see if he makes it. Let me see if he makes it by the first game of the season. Then you can come back to me and tell me. But as of right now, $8.5 million, like, why? I mean, they released Willie Henry, which he was a practice squad player, a defensive tackle. So how much is that going to be? Probably not much. So $4 million on a 1-year deal. That's most of our money right now against what we're doing. So Rishi Lair says, hey, Joey, I'm happy you made it. Well, I'm glad you made it, Rishi, dude. Glad you made it. We got Bloodshot 44. I know you are fired up. I'm pumped. My blood is boiling, but not in a negative way. It's boiling because, we actually have a cornerback 2 now, which is fantastic. Absolutely love it. Love it. Ken Jerome says, you said he was probably the reason, so I have no idea. Cyclone Video said, Darius Slay is trying to recruit Chandler Jones now? Oh, my God. Is he really? He's not going to stop, man. We have no money. We can't. I mean, now we just have no money. We had $4.5 million. I think we had $4.5 million. I mean, I highly doubt Zach Ertz is on this roster this year. It says that he is, but until he makes it past past preseason, I will not believe it whatsoever. I will not believe it at all. Zach McClain said 3, Maddox is the beast in the slot, just bad on the outside against bigger wide receivers. And that's definitely true, definitely, because, some of these receivers that, we've had small corners like Ronald Darby and Vontae Maddox. I'm tired of these small corners. That's why when we got Rasul Douglas, I was happy. But he cannot cover twitchy receivers. He can't cover those speedsters down the field. So it's hard finding those big corners that could really do a lot of damage with their speed, but they don't have any, and it's just unfortunate. But Jim Schwartz obviously didn't help the situation whatsoever. Sparks said the dude from the Cardinal, Darius, is recruiting too. There's a lot of players are doing that now. So Commissar says Howie, let's see, right now Howie's performing hours level. We're so used to Howie at being awful level that we think that he's doing good. Reality has been average, not awful for the first time in a while. No, I'm not saying that he's done the best job. I'm not saying he's done the best job at all whatsoever. But, it's a good start for Howie Roseman to come in and do some good things with a good, obviously not much money for free agency, but, strategic, slow signings. That's what I liked about it. Okay, strategic, slow signings is what I liked about it. Did not mind it whatsoever. But going to the draft, obviously the second round pick in Landon Dickerson was kind of for a lot of people because that was an analytic pick, guys. That was more of he has a high ceiling type of pick than he could start for us right now pick, because obviously with the 2 season-ending injuries, 2 knee, 2 ankle injuries, I mean, it's crazy. But he works out next year. Landon Dickerson is the new center for the Philadelphia Eagles. He works out next year. I am telling you right now, he is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to see some good things. Whereas that draft just became almost an A- at that point. I mean, it's good. It's really good. So, Trusty Gun says that we have the best DBs in our division. And you know what? I think, just having good defensive backs doesn't make your defense, because if you have a bad pass rush and you don't have good safeties that can cover the end, at the back end, it's hard to say that we have the best corners. But as of right now, I think with this defensive line and those cornerbacks, I think this team is almost the best in the division on paper, but they got to go out there and prove it. I mean, they have to prove it, guys. I'm not going to go over my head and say, oh, this is going to work out. I hope it does. I hope Jonathan Gannon stays here for the rest of his career, if that's the case. But we just have to see it on the field. That's the problem we are definitely having. So, hold on one second. I always lose my spot here because I can't read. No. Let's see. Jay Koch says no money to sign Ertz. I guess Ertz most definitely gone. Well, no. I mean. The problem is that he wants a contract next year, a new contract. I just don't see him. I honestly do not see Zach Ertz staying past. I don't see him staying past preseason. I really don't. I do not see it happening whatsoever. I really don't, because until they prove that he's going to be on this roster, it just makes no sense. Richard Rodgers, is on the roster right now. There's no way they're putting Richard Rodgers on practice squad. That's not happening. Obviously, Zach Ertz and the front office did talk about, look, we're going to keep you on the roster, come to training camp, and we'll try to look, just try to work with the guys, and we'll try to, find a place for you. There's got to be something going on, because if they already signed Richard Rodgers, it makes no sense. Why'd they pay Jack Stahl, like the highest undrafted free agent in money, $500,000? I mean, you have other guys on this roster, tight end wise, Caleb Wilson, Hakeem Butler, Jason Kroom. Got a whole bunch of guys right now that, you want to see who you can develop at least, but there's something going on with this Zach Ertz stuff. I guarantee you 100% Zach Ertz will not even be a Philadelphia Eagle by the start of the season. And I'm just saying that. And I'm really saying that now. No joke. No joke. Am I missing something? Oh, all right, I'm good. We got super chat from the Nest Out West Philly Foothills. Scrum is calling all Eagles fans, come like and subscribe to Nest Out West of Philly Foothills. I'm getting close to 1K. Can you use your support? Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Hold on. What is that? All right, we're good. Okay, I thought I just lost connection. Like, it is raining over here, so let's give it a break. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Appreciate the super chat. We got BLSU. What's going on, man? So, yo, Joey, what's going on, my guy? How you doing, man? What's going on? Diplomacy said Nate Herbig will be starting center in 2022. No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think that's going to happen. Nate Herbig plays both guard spots, played fantastic. He took Aaron Donald one-on-one. He took him one-on-one. It was fantastic. I loved it. He's going to be a future, he's a swing guard. He can play both sides. The more you know in the offensive line, the better you're going to be. And that's all that matters. You know what I mean? AK9 says 2 more days till training camp. I'm getting ready. I hope you guys are. We're very excited about it. Charlotte says, having the best corners makes a defense. You can always create a pass rush with a blitz, but Reggie White, Clyde Simmons, and Jerome Brown couldn't stop Isaiah Jenkins from being burnt. No, that is true. That is true. I kind of think too much about it. You know what I mean? Like, if you have two good corners, you know what I mean? Like, can that really, that can help your pass rush, definitely. It's hand in hand between your pass rush and your cornerbacks. It does help, and then obviously having, help on the back end from your safety, so you don't know what you're going to have. But I think with this defense, with what we have right now, if it works out, on paper it looks great, but hopefully it does work out. It should be a fantastic season. I mean, I'm pretty pumped about it. Gilbert says, great sign. I never trusted Avonte as our number 2. No, I didn't either. I wasn't a big fan of Avonte Maddox even playing the number 2 whatsoever. And even Zech McPherson, you know what? The guy's just going to get some shots. Let him learn behind some of the vets. And you know what? He's a project probably going into this year to next year to see what he could bring to the table next year. I don't know. Steven Nelson's on a 1-year deal. And then, Darius Slay's gone after 2022. So, things are going to have to, happen. Zach McClain says, Paul Mancini, Nate Herbig, and the right guard of the future, and Philly Dickerson is a left guard or center. Dickerson could play guard. He could play center. He is more than polished. He's probably one of the more polished offensive linemen that we have drafted in a while. And if you've seen video on Landon Dickerson taking linebackers down with his, he's 6'6", 325, okay, and man, I hope Stalin is here next year to, put him under his wing. He's under his wing this year. Obviously, we're going to see when he's going to be in full pads. Howie Roseman said he's not redshirting this year. So, I guess that's a good sign. Maybe his injury's not as bad as we thought. I saw Landon Dickerson, he was married. He proposed to his girlfriend. He was on one knee. If he go on one knee, why not? You know what I mean? He could do something. So, that was stupid to say, but you know what I mean. Angel DeLuca says, we need to trade Cox or else he will be another Ertz. You know what? I think he's definitely a player to look at next year. Fletcher Cox is definitely going to be one of those players next year we have to look at for a trade because I want to see more production from some of these other guys. Milton Williams, defensive tackle, love him. What he does short, he's got that short area quickness, which Jonathan Gann did like about him. He's 6.5 sacks last year. A lot of them were in garbage time. It's really on pressures, and if Fletch doesn't have anybody next to him that could play or that could get some attention, Fletch can't do anything. I think Fletch is better against the run than he is against the pass. That's just me. I think he's definitely a big trade candidate next year. I think he's a huge trade candidate next year. I think he'll definitely have value. I think the Eagles can make a trade, but they cannot wait long. They can't be picky, and they can't wait long for it. So they got to make up their mind next year. Want to see how he does this year, and just see what happens. So we'll see. Sam Clay said, Paul Mancini, did you really just say Herbig is playing center and Dickerson is playing right guard? Look, I had a little bit of a thing where I said, oh, what if they go out for a free agent center next year and put Mulata next to Landon Dickerson on the left side? That'd be pretty cool to see, but more of a dream. We don't need to really spend money on other centers, honestly. So, Nick said, we haven't had a solid secondary since 2008. Steven Nelson signing was a good move. I think it was fantastic. Most of our, even in 2017, that pass rush was the best pass rush in the league. And unfortunately, Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills, they've tried, but they've made plays because of this pass rush. Sometimes that pass rush bandages up corners, and especially Malcolm Jenkins, bandaging up some of these positions we had moving all over the field. So when you look at that, it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? We got Common Star. Our tight ends are probably going to be Ertz, Goddard, and Rodgers. I am telling you right now, Ertz was not going to be here by the start of the season. I am telling you right now, he's not going to be here. There's something weird going on. They already signed Richard Rodgers. It makes absolutely no sense. There's no sense out of it. I don't believe he'll be here. I really don't. If it's past preseason, I'll believe it when I see it. But I'm telling you right now, I have a feeling he will not be here. He will not be here at all. Just because he's at training camp, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because we traded players during training camp. I think he will not be here by the first game. I don't think he will. That's just me, though. Promising said Ertz will be traded, released by Thursday, free up his salary cap space in order to sign draft picks, Landon Dickerson. And I think I think with some players this year, he could trade some. I mean, I don't know if there's another trade on the table before training camp starts, or he wants to at least loot some cap, get some cap space back. I really don't know, but we'll just have to see. You know what I mean? One guy said, "Bro, your thumbnail faces are so YouTube-y." I have a bunch of things. Like, I love creating thumbnails. They're fun. They're fun to do. But I appreciate it, though, if that's a compliment. I don't know. Richie MC said, look at Joey's T-shirt. Not Michael Myers. Imagine the Avengers as a horror movie. Yeah, no. It's the Avengers today. I have to do laundry. I'm almost out of hard T-shirts. I've worn, like, everything that I have. So that's probably why. Antonio John says, why do we still have Zach Ertz? I don't know. I think that, honestly, he's going to be moved. I don't think he's going to be here because I don't care if he's been working out in the facility, working out with the guys. It does not tell me anything whatsoever. I think there's more to it than what we're looking at here. I think there's more to it. Zach McClain says, I hope Ertz goes to Indy with Coach Reich and Wentz. He deserves it. I'm telling you right now, if the Eagles flat out release Zach Ertz, I'm telling you. You sign Steven Nelson, you almost have no cap space now. How are you freeing up money? It's kind of making a little bit more sense now with this whole thing. It's kind of making more sense now. Jake said, we picked up some legit players, Anthony Harris, Eric Wilson, Steven Nelson, and Kerryon Johnson. I thought those were all good signings. Anthony Harris. Before last year, because last year's Vikings secondary was very hurt. Anthony Harris, didn't play up to par last year. It was a very injured secondary last year. Before that year, he was leading the league in interceptions, and he was playing on a franchise tag worth $11 million. Okay, Eric Wilson was one of the most underrated linebackers. I think a month later we signed him. I made a video on him back in February or March, and then a month later we did sign him. And I was so impressed by what he's always been a bench player, never became a starter. Injuries piled up. The linebacker core was piled up with injuries. Eric Wilson came right in. 3 sacks, 122 tackles, whatever it was. I mean, he just came in and he was a tackling machine, and the guy could cover on top of it. How many linebackers right now that can, cover? And, I think Sean Bradley could cover. I think TJ Edwards can cover. I think we just haven't exploited the surface of some of these linebackers we have. Not just that position, but a lot more positions on top of it. So there's a lot more to really, there's a lot more this team could do right now. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens and, just give it a shot. Linebacker position, I'm really excited about. I am. Jannard Avery's going back to his original position, back to linebacker, now defensive end. So there's a lot going on. And then Kerryon Johnson, if he stays healthy, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have 4 running backs on this roster. Miles Sanders, Professor Kenneth Gainwell, because he's going to ball out. Okay? You're going to have Kerryon Johnson, that's going to beat out Jordan Howard most likely, and I think you're going to keep Boston Scott on this roster. I think Boston Scott will stay. I don't know. It's going to be between Boston Scott and Jordan Howard if they're going to be here, because honestly, Jordan Howard had no interest from teams this year whatsoever. None. The most recent success Jordan Howard has had was with the Eagles in 2019. That was the most success that Jordan Howard had recently. Okay, and there was no interest, and he honestly contemplated on retiring. And, I think Kerryon Johnson is a more elusive bruiser back than Jordan Howard. But Jordan Howard, to me, I love Jordan Howard. I still love Jordan Howard. I think he's a bull. He gets to the second level. He brings guys with him for another 7 to 10 yards. I think he could do so much more. So we will see. But the running back core is really interesting right now. It's getting really interesting right now. Loyal Houston says, "Sup, Joey? What's going on, man? This is subscribe to Loyal to Houston, guys. He is a Texans fan. He keeps me updated on the Deshaun Watson stuff as well. So if you guys have it, go to his channel. We have 200 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate everybody being here today. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If you guys haven't liked the stream, like the stream up, guys. If you like the stream, you're supporting me. It's all that matters. Obviously, description below, links to support me. Otherwise, and obviously, we have the Philly Shakedown podcast every single Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we cover the news for the whole week. Training camp is Tuesday, and we're going to be covering a lot more, and it's going to be a lot more exciting. So appreciate that and everybody that has come in to really check up on the news and just to be with me and go through this. We got to go through this together. That's what it all matters. That's where it all counts. So I'm pretty I'm pretty pumped about it. Ronnie White says, bring back Michael Kendricks, that linebacker who's free from the insider trading charges. Only got to pay a fine and some community service. Nah, I think the times are over, bro. We got a lot of linebackers, got a lot of young guys. We're done with the past. The past is gone. We're moving forward. That's what I want. I want this team to move forward what we're doing right now. So I'm very happy about it to see where this goes. So, hey, it's an idea, though. I respect it, Rodney. I respect it. Okay? I respect it, but we're moving on. Worst behavior said we deserve Indy or even the Bills for sure. Oh, he deserves Indy or the Bills. I think the Bills are the most promising spot for Ertz. The Bills are so loaded on offense, and Ertz doesn't have to be that guy. He doesn't have to be the safety blanket. Like, he's just a plus for that offense. The Bills are a Super Bowl contender in 2021. We can all agree on that right now. Okay? And even Indy. Indy's going to have a hard time with Tennessee, right up their lap. So, I mean, it just depends where he goes, but I just want the $8.5 million. That's all I care about. Good luck, Zach Ertz. Appreciate everything you've done here, but, good luck. Good luck. Sparks says Bills Ertz would be good. Yeah, exactly. I love it. BLSG says Landon Dickerson will be starting center in 2022. Definitely agree with that. Zach McLean says Herbig will replace Brooks. Samal will replace Kelsey, and Dickerson will play left guard. You know what? Next year is going to be a whole. We talked about veterans getting traded, right? So we go through that whole process. We talk about vets getting traded. But at the same time, you know what? It's really just Brandon Brooks coming off 2 Achilles injuries. Lane Johnson's been dealing with this ankle injury the past. I don't know if it's 2 separate ankles, the 2 different ankles, or it's been the same ankle the past couple years, couple seasons. This is getting annoying now. We don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? So it's really tough to say that some of these guys are, Brandon Brooks getting paid a lot of money right now. Lane Johnson, a good chunk of change. Didn't restructure him this year. So, I mean, there's a lot of different aspects you could go through with some of these players for who you're going to trade next year. Don't be surprised if this team gets more thin because, guys, you have Jack Driscoll that could play right tackle. You got Herbig that could play both guard spots, okay? LaRaven Clark, obviously signed here to compete at left tackle. Andre Dillard, if he can't prove to us he's better than Jordan Mailata, then he's got to try to cross-train. And if he can't cross-train to another position, he's definitely out the door after this year. That's probably what I could tell you about, the offensive line as of right now. It's a really big, we're really not going to know, but I guess we'll find out when the time comes. Nate Banks says, I think there will actually be a lot of Eagles fights at training camp with the young roster. I'm pumped, though. I think this team will be tough and competitive, and I agree with you 100%. Tough and competitive. Fights, I don't know. It is what it is. If it happens, it happens. It's just competition. It's not a bad thing. It happens every year. It happens all the time and every single year. We'll see. But, hey, we agree on the same thing. Common Star Herbig is better than Samal. He's probably not going to start over Samal, but he should. I think he actually is better. I'm not a big Isaac Samal guy. I think his run blocking is elite. His pass protection is poor. I'm not a big Samal guy. Like when Steph Wisniewski left, I always said to myself, why did he leave? Why pick Samal over him? I know Samal is a 3rd-round pick, but still. But, times do change, and I don't know. Herbig could play left guard right now. I don't think he plays better at left or right. I think he plays balanced, really good football left and right. So, Edward Dickens says, I love Ertz, bro. Don't want to see him go. No, he will retire an Eagle, though. That's 100%. 100% he will. And wherever he goes, I wish him the best of luck. Until we face him, that's the only reason I don't wish him luck. But been here since he's been drafted and, did a lot for us. You know what I mean? Just wish him luck, man. Times are changing, man. This has got to be we have to move on. We can't be emotionally attached anymore. We have to think about strategic business, get our foundation of our cap situation right. We got potentially 3 first-round picks next year. You think this offseason was kind of crazy? Wait till next season. Wait till next offseason. Next year's going to be even more crazy. You know what I mean? So you never know. Performance season, Jack Stahl is signing bonus of $122,500 and not $500,000. $122 is a lot. for an undrafted free agent. No one pays $500 for an undrafted. I forgot someone got paid. Maybe I read that about somebody else. But I know that Jack Stahl is the highest paid undrafted guy. So sorry, I haven't seen it in a while. Noah 5 says, Joe 672, you the man because you broke the news on Steven Nelson first. You know, I thought I did, but I wasn't sure because I went on YouTube. I went on Twitter, and then, like, it was weird because I got on Twitter, and it was like 2 minutes ago, the Eagles posted something on Twitter. It said Steven Nelson got signed, and I was like, what? And then I put it up. I was like, wow, what's going on? So, you know, it was crazy. It was nuts. Zach Clay says, comment star, Samal has been out, most consistent lineman, other than Kelsey and Samal has never gave up more than 4 sacks in a season. Let's see. Rock the Artist says, yay, Joey, we got our guy. We definitely did, bro. We did. We're so happy. We're so happy right now. Tanner the Great says, Alabama does not mess around with their O-line. No, their O-line is military, okay? They go through military training over there in Alabama. No joke. So, Paul Mancini said, Dickerson is too tall and set to play center in the NFL. Herbig played some great at Stanford while at college, and we'll see a lot of reps at center this summer. You watch. We'll see what happens. Hey, it is what it is. If they want to move Dickerson to guard, they could do that, but I think Dickerson will be the starting center. There's nothing about being too big. Obviously Kelsey has been an undersized center for years and has been killing it, literally. So, Eagles Slayer said, I hope letting LeBlanc walk doesn't come back to bite us if this Nelson dude doesn't live up to that. Well, I don't know if LeBlanc can play outside consecutive games. I mean, I don't know. He's a good player, but they had to go sign somebody. But we'll see what happens. Spark said we could definitely get first. I mean, I hope we get a first-round pick for Fletcher Cox. That would make a lot of sense, definitely. Edward Dick said, I think we re-signed Cox. He still got it. I don't know. Because once they hit that number, 30, once they hit the age of 30, you can't give these big contracts out anymore. You can't do it anymore. I mean, they have to stop doing that. That's why you guys need to stop thinking that way. Like, I don't care what it is. Like, once these players are starting to hit up in age, they need to start. This is why we kept guys for too long, because I'm not saying Fletcher Cox has been kept for too long, but I'm saying with certain players on this team, they've kept for too long over where they should have left. Okay, this is when you don't draft well, you restructure players every single year, constantly, every single year. So it gets annoying, I understand that, but that's just a business, and we need to have cap space, we need to have draft capital. We can't just go out and just keep paying and restructuring and not getting any development out of young guys that we draft. It's just going to be crazy. We'll see, though. Where's Baber says we need a Stingley this next draft. That way he can at least have year learning from Slay. No, I mean the top corner from LSU, Stingley definitely. I mean he's got that attitude. He's got really tight coverage. He's quick, turns his hips really well. That would be, I'm seeing the Eagles go heavy defense in this draft next year. And if they get rid of some pass rush, look, if Josh Sweat doesn't get re-signed, if Derek Barnett doesn't get re-signed, Fletcher Cox could be on the trade out. You could be drafting another pass rusher in a top 20 pick next year. You could go after another corner. I would rather go after another corner next year with that first round pick. But obviously, we need to see how everything goes this year and kind of just we'll see what happens. Nicholas Coyle says this is great news. It is great news. It's awesome news. It's fantastic news. But we'll see, guys. We'll see. CKOTG Theralone says, just a quick question. Do you have Sunday ticket? I do. I pay the increments on Sunday ticket. I know it's a lot of money. It's like $300 just to watch football. Like it's crazy. They're trying to rob our pockets. I don't know why. Karma Star says, Samal is good at run block, but not great at pass blocking. Thank you very much, Comment. Thank you. Agree with that 100%. Pass blocking's horrible. I don't know why, but it just has been like that. Bloodshot says 44 says smash the like button. Appreciate that, guy. 227 people in the chat. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, we go over Eagles news all year round. We cover all training camp, all the draft, all free agency, all the season. We'll have live streams like crazy. If you guys haven't, join the fun. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you guys haven't. Like the stream up if you guys agree with the Steven Nelson signing. Much appreciated from you guys. If you guys haven't checked the Philly Shakedown podcast every Saturday with the better half of the Philly Shakedown podcast, Philly 500. We stream every single week. And obviously, when the season does come, we're going to be streaming a lot more. So much appreciate to everybody that's been around, that's been supporting that. And I'm telling you guys, you're going to love it. It's going to be a great future for the podcast, and very excited. So much appreciate everybody that's in here tonight. That's pretty early. Usually I do like 12 midnight streams. Not happening tonight. We're changing our ways. Psycho Steve said, "Let's go. What's going on, bro?" Kid Savage with Patrick Robinson was a stud for us in the slot in 2017. Oh, he was. He really was. You know what? What's crazy is Patrick Robinson actually played on the outside first, and once we signed, Ronald Darby, they moved him to the inside because Robinson played horrible on the outside during camp. Then when they signed when they traded for Ronald Darby, that was when they put him to the inside, and then he played really good. Played actually really well. I was actually really happy about it. It was kind of crazy though. Kind of crazy. The Philly Talk Podcast. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says cherry on top. Everything fits in with this. It does. It really does. If you guys haven't checked out Philly Mike of the Philly Talk Podcast, check him out. He's got a channel. He covers Sixers. He covers Eagles. He covers everything. I don't know if he's covering hockey or any of that, but you're gonna have to ask him about that. But I think this fits in everything. I really think it does. I think you're right because now you have your cornerback 2 now. Now you feel more comfortable going to the season. So where you have Zach McPherson that can learn behind some of these veterans and do some good things there. So appreciate the super chat, Mike. Much appreciated, man. Okay, we're good now. We're good. Alrighty, Monty, I agree the Eagles will draft defense heavily next draft. Oh, 100%. I'd be surprised if they don't. I'd be really surprised if they don't. I mean, don't get surprised if they draft an offensive lineman early, not too early, but they always should draft an offensive lineman. But I think you got to go defense heavy with those first 2 picks. No joke. Because receiver-wise, when you look at it, you shouldn't be drafting a receiver for the next 10 years. I'm telling you right now, I got to see how Quez Watkins can play. Travis Fulgham, John Hightower. There are players. Greg Ward, very reliable. Very reliable. Jalen Reagor is going to be a nice compliment to Devontae Smith. It's going to be explosive. It's going to be crazy to watch. You're going to be excited. Okay? You're going to be really excited. So, I'm excited, man. Steve Martin says, Harris, Nelson, Slay, we legit. It looks great. We just got to see the product on the field, man. I don't go overboard too much. We got to see the product on the field, though. Zach McClain says, Paul, I'm seeing you're crazy if you think Cox ain't worth a third. He's legit still top 5 defensive tackle. Oh, he's definitely still a top 5, but, I need to see if his play goes down. If he starts dipping. He started dipping a little bit last year, but right now, you go 6 games. I understand he came off injury, whatever, but this year is going to be really important for Fletcher Cox. This year is definite. Really important. Really important. Hold on. I am losing my place here. Don't get mad at me, though. Steve Martin says, love you, bro. Love you, too. Love you, too. Angelo DeLuca says, Joey, would you trade for Watson? No, because I want Jalen Hurts to work out. As long as Jalen Hurts, what I want to see from Jalen Hurts this year, I want to see him stay in the pocket, go through his reads, through his progressions, and just let him flourish. Distribute the football, let him flourish in this offense. Let the offense work for him. He will gravitate those players towards him, and he will be fantastic. Okay? I'm very excited about it. Very excited. And can't wait until he just can't wait till the swagger in this offense. It's gonna be I did it the right way. Do that. I'm supposed to do that. But it is what it is. Tim off the Philly Talk podcast. Be careful with the talk about cherry on top. Richard MC says lots of hockey news this week. I am sorry. I'm not a hockey fan. I wish I watch the Flyers if they're on, whatever here or there. But it is what it is. Alex Robinson says, what do you expect out of the Eagles this year? All I'm expecting out of the Philadelphia Eagles in 2021 is I am expecting a building block year. So how far are these expectations? Well, we really don't know. The Eagles look like they want to rebuild, but at the same time, they feel like they could make some noise this year. And with that, you want your quarterback, the most important thing to work out before anything, because that designates your offseason before anything else. Okay? Before anything else. And we'll see what happens. But I think with the Philadelphia Eagles, you find your building block pieces. You build off of those guys. You get rid of your dead weight next year. You get rid of some of your bigger contracts. You got a lot of picks next year. You're going to have cap space. We're actually going to be under the cap in the first year, and I don't know how long. It's going to be overwhelming to have cap space and have actual draft picks. And then we're going to go out of our minds more because they can do so many different things. So keep your head up, guys. Keep your head up. Eagles Uncensored podcast. Joey, what's good, bro? Appreciate it, man. What's going on, man? If you guys haven't subscribed to the Eagles Uncensored podcast, please subscribe to his channel. He is a new Eagles content creator that is moving up in the ranks, and appreciate you coming in, man. Much love to your channel and yourself, man. Richard Lair says, what happened to Marcus Epps? He's horrible. He's just horrible. He's horrible. What do you mean what happened to Marcus Epps? He stunk. He stunk. He was horrible. I don't know what you think out of Marcus Epps, but no, he's not going to be here, obviously. I don't even know if he's here. Is he here? Is he on the roster? I don't know. I haven't checked the safety roster depth chart in a while, so I'm not sure. I don't think he's here, though. Okay, I don't think he's here. Easy Money said, we just need a franchise QB, and we set. That's definite, but we need a coaching staff that could develop and a GM that could draft right. So the coaching staff and the GM have to be hand in hand together for this to work. You can have the best pieces on the field, okay? The best. But it's not going to work as easy as you think it's going to. You know what I mean? It's not going to work. So you can have the best players on the field, but if you don't have a coaching staff that can develop and put your players in the right positions to win football games, and you don't have a GM that's just picking picks out of his you-know-what, then you know what? You might have something. But it comes down to development, coaching, and your GM that makes these off-season moves, whether it's the draft, free agency, whatever it is. Common Star says, I don't know about you, Joey, but I'm glad we got Nelson over Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard is injury-prone. He is a little bit, definitely, but he's going to cost more money. Plus, he's going to cost us draft capital. So I think this is a win-win for the Eagles. A nice risk to take with Steven Nelson. Not really a risk, but he's good. He's solid. He's not locked down. I don't claim that, Steven Nelson's locked down. I never claim that whatsoever that he's locked down. All I'm saying is that he is solid in his scheme. Jonathan Gannon will know how to use him, and him and Darius Slay are going to be hand-in-hand great on each side. And it's going to be great. It's going to help the pass rush. The pass rush will help the coverage. The coverage will help the pass rush. It's hand-in-hand, and you got to love it. You got to love it. Zach McClain says, Claire Allen, George Claire for this, and Henry Tutus will be the Philly next year. I have no idea what those names are, so hopefully that's a joke because I do not know those names whatsoever. Don't know those names. Jersey Boy, what's going on, man? Say, adding Nelson makes our defense legit. Should be a top 10 by the end of the year. Thoughts? I hope so. It looks good on paper, but I really hope so. That's why training camp, the competition. Nick Sirianni talks about competition. That's where that's where it's really important. Okay, that's where fundamentals, competition. And he promised us competition. We got competition at linebacker. Even competition at safety a little bit. Competition at running back. Competition wide receiver, like I said before. It's going to be fantastic. Love it. Love it. The mighty guard says Marcus Epps got Swiss cheese by every wide receiver. Yeah, he's made some plays here and there, but I mean, nothing to where it's like, oh my God, franchise player, Pro Bowler, oh my God, we have to re-sign him. I don't know. David Knight says, let's get them likes up. Fly goes fly. There's 215 people in the chat right now. If guys haven't liked the stream because David McKnight said so. He said so. David McKnight. Guys haven't done that, let me know. Guys haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to cover Eagles news all year round. Haven't followed the Philly Shakedown podcast every Saturday with Philly 500. We're very excited to do that. And obviously, you guys want to become moderators on this channel. Obviously, there's no blocking allowed. But if you want to become a moderator on this channel, I do have memberships. I actually did different things with the memberships this year. We're going to have different videos for obviously whatever membership you do get. I actually edited some memberships this year. For the Shake Squad Army memberships. So check those out if you guys have not either. Big Girl says, Nelson is a bum. That guy got ran out of Pittsburgh. It's funny because there's a lot of Steeler fans who are saying that we got a great player, that he's going to do really well here. That's what I heard from a lot of people. And because I'm going to start watching some full games of Steven Nelson, watching some snap counts of Steven Nelson, see what he does good, see what he doesn't do against certain players. I'm going to be looking at all that stuff with videos coming out for you guys every single week. So, Covington Jr. says, hello, Joey Shakes. I've told 500 today about the national media mistreating of the Eagles as they are a JV high school, but the national media football game plan, which did a very fair evaluation. The way the Eagles are treated, they're underdogs, and that's totally fine. I don't care. I don't want them to I'm going to say a bad word, but I don't want them to overhype this team too much. I really don't want that. I want them to be at the bottom of the barrel. We're not thought about. We're not looked at. No one cares about us. That's all I want. And that's all I want. The less attention we get, the better we're going to be. And that's how it's going to be. Let's see. Paul said Marcus Epps is probably the opening game, starting safety next to a Harris. McLeod's unlikely to be ready to start the opener. I mean, he said he's going to be back week 1, but I would expect Kevon Wallace would start over Marcus Epps. If Marcus Epps is still here, I would expect. Okay, I would expect. Okay, don't tell me that he's going to. No. That's not happening. If I even see Marcus Epps in the Eagles jersey this year, that's starting on the field. I'm telling you right now, not going to be good. Zach McClain said, everyone sees what we are without Cox, and Dalton had 2 off seasons to throw the ball against our D-line without Cox. And that is true somewhat, but Fletcher Cox is going to, all eyes on Fletcher Cox this year. Okay, wrong side of 30. Got to see if he's dipping, with production and just see what he could do. You know what I mean? Look, I understand you have the guy takes up double teams. People are like, well, he takes up double teams. That's what he's supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I understand that. But I see Aaron Donald every single week do the total opposite of what Fletcher Cox does. Fights off double teams, be disruptive. He takes one offensive lineman and throws him into 4 other offensive linemen. Okay, that's how disruptive Aaron Donald is. I don't see that from Fletcher Cox at all. Fletcher Cox is top 5. But that's just the way it is. Ronnie Wise says, we don't need any more Bradley Fletchers, Kerry Williams, or Byron Maxwell's Toast Brothers. The Toast. They are the Toast Brothers. Eagle says, I'd give Watson a go if Hurts doesn't pan out. Of course, I'd do the same thing. If Hurts, as long as Hurts gives me his all this year, if he gives me 100% this year, I'll be happy with it. I'll be totally fine with it. You know what I mean? But until that time, it's Hurts season, baby. It's Hurts season. Matt Weeks, what's going on, bro? We finally got our number 2 cornerback. Hell yeah, let's go. We're all excited. We're very pumped. I'm pumped. Man, I was like, when is there news? No Zach Ertz release, trade, nothing. And then, this is from a few days ago, obviously, before Zach Ertz was apparently staying here, which is not going to happen. But then hearing this news today, really just, wow. I was like, Steven Nelson hasn't signed yet. There's something going on. He hasn't signed to another team yet. There's something going on. There's just something. And Darius Slay and him were talking like they're already teammates. I don't even get it. I don't get it. It's crazy. It's a crazy day. Big Rose said Nelson can't even defend Arcega-Whiteside. What was it? One play? What was it? One play? People are so salty about one play. You could probably take every player in the NFL and say one play that they have failed on a bad player that got lucky. You know how many players we've had over the years that were truly bad but beat a good player, and then we call the good player bad but the bad player good. It's always happened. T. Ross has just joined in. Y'all like the Nelson pickup? Can't lie. Slay is not the guy. Slay, why is Slay getting so much? Why does Slay get so much heat for? Why? Because he gave up 200-yard games, and that's his worst year. Slay is, I don't know why. Nate Banks says, I have been a huge fan of the Eagles O-line in recent years. If it is what I think, we may have one of the most stocked lines I've seen. And you know what? You have to be grateful, because even with Kansas City in that Super Bowl last year, they lost two linemen, and they couldn't even mess with that. They couldn't even fill those spots. This team changed their offensive line 14 times last year. This team is used to playing multiple positions. A lot of cross-training. A lot of guys have been playing different positions. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think they could be a top 3. I think they'll be a top 3 offensive line if they stay healthy. If they stay healthy. No joke. Thomas Boy says, did you see the video of Hurts in full pads? Yeah, I actually have that video on my phone. I actually recorded it and I want to save it. I did see it. Looks fantastic. We'll see. Desert Eagle 90, what's going on, man? Hope you're having a good night tonight. He is happy. Another Eagles vid maker. If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, please subscribe. Go to Desert Eagle 90's channel and check him out as well. Rich M Media says, since the Eagles signed Nelson, what do you think is our biggest weakness as of right now? It's not really. There's really no weaknesses. It's really like we need to. There's too many unknowns with the depth at wide receiver. There's too many knowns with the depth at linebacker. There's more unknowns than weaknesses because we don't know if it's a weakness yet because we haven't evaluated. Okay, we haven't had training camp. We haven't evaluated yet. So that's something you really have to kind of sit back and just let it blossom a little bit. Wait for a few weeks of training camp, see what happens. So it should be really interesting, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see though. Let's see. Angelo DeLuca says, if we get rid of Ertz, we should put Hakeem Butler as a tight end. 2 kids, a monster. Yeah, I think he only had, Hakeem Butler, I think only had like 1 snap last year. I think it was only like 1 snap, something like that. So, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Zach McLean said, Big Earl Jigga never been lined up across Nelson. I've heard a lot of people say that Arcega-Whiteside beat him on a pass. I don't know. It's great. Carlton Roberts says, just saw Darius Slay trying to recruit Chandler Jones. It's crazy, man. It's just nuts now. Now it's just like the Eagles have no money though. I don't even think they even have enough cap. Like they would have to make another move to free up some type of space as of right now. I have no idea if they could do it. I have no idea. Sports Real says, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? Cheers to you, bro. Cheers to you. T. Ross says, Cowboys fan in the building. I'll exit now before you guys cook me. You're good, bro. I welcome everybody in here. Ray Meyer says, why is everyone on the Watson wagon? He never won anything. He is boiling on his team, and he is a woman abuser. I wouldn't touch him, let alone give a bunch of assets. There's nothing true about anything yet, but I don't go political on this channel, so I'm not going to say anything political. But all I'm going to say is this: his stuff needs to clear up before anybody could sign him, and if the Eagles are interested, they would have to wait until next year. This is a wait and see approach type of signing, most likely. Okay, that's what's going to happen. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But if it's not, then we got a problem. But I think as of right now, I think Deshaun Watson is great. I think he's a fantastic player. I just think, obviously Bill O'Brien trading D-Hop and not doing the right thing by the franchise, being as the head coach and the GM, not really making the team better, not building around Deshaun Watson. So as of right now, Deshaun Watson could be a very strong candidate for the Philadelphia Eagles if this does not work out. If Jalen Hurts does not work out for the Philadelphia Eagles, so it should be very interesting. JJ says Eagles 9-8 for the season, probably third in the NFC East. Could happen. I had the Eagles winning 7 to 9 games, but this is only if they clean up some of their stuff early in the season. Mistakes will be made, and hopefully, I just feel like they can win more than 7 to 9 games. That's just me. But I still said 7 to 9. If worst comes to worst, they win 7 to 9 games. But I hope they prove me wrong. Kid Savage says Marcus Epps is so. I called him like Epps purposely because he is. Shout out to Kid Savage, one of my good buddies on here. Jay Koch says, "Hey Joe, do you think it will be a predominantly West Coast offense?" I think it will in some way. I think they're more of a run-first team. I think they will be a run-first team where they will use multiple running backs, running east to west and north to south as well, depending on what they're doing. But I think this is a run-first team, definitely. Offensively, I think they're really, you got defenses that have to get prepared for all these new running backs, like Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard, Kerryon Johnson, just all these guys. It should be really interesting. But I think definitely a run-first team. What's going on, Sonic 2.25? How you doing, bro? Worst behavior says, if our wide receivers are legit and Hurts ends up working out, we'll be spending money like a crackhead who just got their check next offseason. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited, too. I'm excited to see. I think this team is going to be tough, competitive. I think they will surprise us. I'm saying it a million times this stream because I think they will surprise us. I think we're going to be like, whoa. Nick Sirianni is really knowing how to use these players. He knows his Colts players back for the past couple years. You know what I mean? He used 3 different quarterbacks, guys. Okay, Andrew Luck and Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers with 3 different skill sets, 3 different quarterbacks. He's done a fantastic job. So you're just going to have to look at it in a different line of light and hope that this works out so well. So, Rich MC said the Eagles under their podcast closed 200 subs. We wanted to help him out. Appreciate it, man. That's good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Billy Covington Jr., that would be a recipe for the Dallas Cowboys. Easy Money says the offensive weapons are upgraded supremely at wide receiver and running back. Both lines are great. Hurts will need to step up, getting outplayed by Dalton. 40% completion and QBR and low 50s won't get it done, but still. Yeah, and you know what? I'm not really looking at the numbers for Jalen Hurts this year, really. I mean, he just got to go through his progressions. It just got to look like he's capable. If he can at least look like he's capable to play as a franchise quarterback going forward, I'll be happy. I'm hoping we don't have to spend a first-round pick on a quarterback. Next year's draft? Hell no. Definitely not. You know what I mean? So we're just going to have to see and find out. Just going to have to find out. Commissar says, Raymar agreed on the evidence against him as disturbing those messages. Yeah, it's getting kind of crazy. Commissar with the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Says Marcus Epps still on the roster. It sounds like the Eagles still value him a lot. What has he done to deserve a roster spot? Well, it might be special teams. Okay, I know he plays a lot of special teams. So if he's got value, it's on special teams. Okay, if he's made a lot of plays on special teams this year, our third part of the game, that definitely has to get better. We haven't had good special teams since probably 2014. It's been a while. It's been a good amount of time since we've had that much. But we'll see. Thomas Broadboy says, do you think the Eagles will resign notable offseason players if they play good, if we have the money? It depends who it is. Like, you never know if you're going to get good, players out of, Anthony Harris and Eric Wilson. These are guys that have one-year deals. It's going to be tough. But you're not, just say Fletcher Cox. You trade Fletcher Cox next year, you're saving $16, $17 million next year. It's a lot of cap. That's enough to sign a player or do something with it. So you never know what you can get. You never know who you could trade. But I think this team is going to get it's going to get younger next year. This 2017 roster is disappearing by the second, and it's going to every single year. We thought we have a young roster this year. Just wait until next year in 2022, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. You're going to see. No joke. Nigel Freak says 1 month away, tough to be excited, but go Birds. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, I'm pumped. I'm just pumped to watch some football, at least watch some training camp and see what the guys are doing and who's going to play well and who's outplaying who. I think that's what's most exciting about it. If you guys haven't subscribed to Nigel Freak, one of the most realistic Eagles fans that will tell you literally the truth of the Eagles YouTube, okay? And please go to his channel, subscribe to his channel. Fly Like an Eagle podcast. If you guys haven't checked that out, he runs that podcast. I don't know when he's doing it next. I know the season will be here in a couple months, but very excited. Go to his channel. I've been a big supporter. I've known him since I first started YouTube, so much appreciated, man. Thanks for coming in, man. Donated 3LM says, Eagles, any more moves? I don't know if they have the money to right now. Big Earl says, I got the Eagles at 7-10, 9-8. Arcega-Whiteside gets a lot of snaps. Dude, what's with your infatuation with Arcega-Whiteside? You've been saying his name a million times. Are you an Eagles fan? I got to answer that, but I don't know. But we'll see. Daniel Garber said the Eagles have a lot of money next year and potentially 3 first-round picks. If Howie hits on those picks and brings in the right free agents, the Eagles could build a monster. I honestly think if they do right this year and they go into next year on a good foot, this franchise could turn around within they could turn around in another year. I had them going into this new season, 2021, it to be a 2-3 year rebuild. But before all the moves, before everything that's going on, I think honestly, I really think they could turn this around by 2 years. 2 years. They could do it next year if everything works out. But it's really up to the coaching staff. It's up to Howie Roseman. It's up to the developmental aspect of this team. So you never know what's going to happen. Eagles says, I'd rather bring back Trey Sullivan than Epps. Yeah, that's a hard one. Trey Sullivan, I think, has had more snaps in the NFL. I thought he went to Green Bay and got a lot more snaps, but that's just me, though. Bruce Phillips, what's going on, bro? What's going on, man? Danny says, what do you think wins the left tackle at camp? Come on now, give it to me. Give it to me. You guys tell me who's going to win the next tackle. Who's going to be the next left tackle at camp? Who's going to be the starting left tackle of the Philadelphia Eagles in 2021? It's obvious. It's going to be Jordan Mailata. It's his time to shine. And really, with Andre Dillard, it's really not his fault. The Eagles didn't do right by him when they drafted him. They brought Jason Peters in. They redshirted Andre Dillard. They did not do right by. It's such a waste of a first-round pick. They did no right by Andre Dillard whatsoever. And I think right now you have a really good player in Jordan Mailata. That's just you have molded him into this monster at 6'8", 350 pounds. I mean, just crazy. The way he pushes someone on the ground, he starts getting back up, he pushes them again. That's what I like, pushing people around. I love the way Mailata is. Love his attitude and what he does. It's so exciting. It really is. Very exciting. Raymar says, Hurts has to be cut down the fumbles and the line has to block for him, and I think he will be fine. No, I think that this offensive line gives him good protection. You're going to see a lot of explosive plays to Rager, to Ward, to Devontae Smith. I mean, your run game is going to be great. You have weapons. You have a lot of attention on these receivers now with Devontae Smith being in the lineup. Miles Sanders gets a lot of attention next to Jalen Hurts. It's going to be really good. It's going to be really, really good. Rodney Wise is 3.5 games of Hurts. Starting last season was all right. I want to see more. Nah, last year was horrible. Last year, he didn't progressively get better. He got worse last year. Okay, I'm one of the most realistic Eagles fans on YouTube. Okay, I don't sugarcoat it. I don't hype somebody up for no reason until I really think that he deserves it, or do I think in my own mind that he's going to be a great player. Okay, I do not hype anybody up. But with Jalen Hurts, he progressively played really bad. Okay, first game was more running than passing. Him and Miles Sanders had 100 yards apiece rushing. Okay, the Cardinals, I thought that was his best game, where he was going through his progressions, going through his reads, getting it to his. Obviously, the defense didn't help us out. And, Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball on his own, too. But then, going forward, Cowboys, Washington did not play well. The Giants game didn't play well. Played a little bit. Probably would have won that game, to be honest, until Doug tried to, stiff the Giants. But the Cowboys game, he had no patience in the pocket. His awareness was gone. He just started to scramble. There was a lot of people open during that game. Could have made a lot of plays in that game. But, unfortunately, it didn't work out. But he didn't get better. I thought he progressively got worse last year. But now you have a whole entire offseason. You have an actual offseason, building chemistry with some of these guys, doing stuff like that. So it works out hand in hand. It does really well. So we'll see what happens. But, Hurts is, I think, obviously, between Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, the Eagles have done a marvelous job around Jalen Hurts better than Carson Wentz. Have built around him more than Carson Wentz. And that's definitely the truth, okay? That's the truth I'm going to tell you right now. So, I know I rambled a little bit. I'm sorry. But it is what it is. Scheme Team said there was a Steakhouse Philly 5 years ago. Milia's trying to spin on the Eagles. Oh, that's crazy. That's nuts. Thomas says, will they be live streaming training camp? They should. Not the whole thing, but they're going to live stream like the warm-ups. They don't live stream like during what they're doing, but mostly just warm-ups and stuff like that. Ronnie White says, feed Miles Sanders and often this season so Hurts won't have to run so much. Yeah, that's definite. Look, I love mobile quarterbacks, but I don't need him to run every time. Like, I need him to have that pocket awareness. I need him to have that pocket to go through his progressions and his reads. And that offensive line, they're healthy. We're going places. That's definite. Dr. Freak says, thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. No problem, dude. Let's see, Commissar says, sounds like they value him a lot at safety, not just special teams. Also, evaluations have Epps over Wallsome. I got to see it to believe it, bro. We can't just, it's somehow, we don't know. We don't know the truth. Until we see it, until we see that depth chart and see who's starting with first team defense, second team defense, whatever it is, we're going to find out. Danny says, I will root for the Dolphins and Colts to lose. That's what we have to do. We have to make sure that the Titans keep the Colts on their toes. Getting Julio Jones was huge for them and huge for that team. Obviously, I'm not big on their quarterback, but I think he's capable of just staying in there and winning the division. But let the Colts don't make it easy for the Colts. We need Carson Wentz to play 75% of the snaps, get that first round pick, and obviously the Dolphins. Yeah, they got to play horrible. I'm hoping they do. MB, what's going on, man? He says, did you see Hurt suit up with his new number for Oakley? He looks good with number 1 and a visor. We're going to make a lot of people pay. He looks fantastic. He looks legit. He looks like a franchise quarterback already. How can you not get excited over that? It's going to be fantastic. Dave K says everyone is blowing their wads on hopes. Hopes this team will be a good, realistic. It's a 6-win team. We have an old O-line from center to right tackle, left guard to tackle, or big. You know what? But we have a new coaching staff. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I think you're going by from 2018 on or 2017 on. We have a new coaching staff. We're going in another direction. Our practices are different. We're scheming. We don't have Doug Pearson going through a chart saying, I think I'll win. It says here I'll win 90%. If we go for 2-point conversion, it says here I'll win. There's a 90% chance we're going to win the game. I think it's a totally different story. Like it's not hope. It's you just feel it. It's not a hope. It's a feeling. It's an urge. It's just what you feel. If I feel like it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad. But if I feel like there's some type of hope to where I think 6 games is cutting it too much to where 6 games. No, I think they could win more than that. I think they could do a lot more than that. So, it just depends, man. Just depends. But I respect everybody's opinion. I might be like, no, you're wrong. I'm not going to do that. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy over here. But appreciate it, man. Damian Ramey. The biggest announcement is J-Jaw equals dumpster juice. Dumpster juice is perfect. Sorry, I said dumpster juice again in my head, and I started laughing. Big Earl, so remember that chump Sam Bradford? That guy was all hyped up because he was a number 1 pick. Yeah, but who? By who? Who was he hyped up? By the Eagle fans? I wasn't hyped up. But Sam Bradford? Nah. I was not happy about that at all. I was never happy about Sam Bradford whatsoever. Guy can't move. Guy can't run. That guy needed the most perfect protection. At least with Nick Foles, he was able to move around. This guy could not move around. Heisman winners don't mean anything. They don't, really. Dave K said if, and that's a big if, the line stays healthy. I always hear this, so tired. Well, that's because you have injuries, because we changed our offensive line 14 times last year. Brandon Brooks coming off 2 Achilles. Lane Johnson coming off another ankle injury for the 2nd time already. That's because if they don't, you're not going to have a good season when your offensive line's busted like that. You can't do it. You can't win seasons. You can't do anything great. It's just you can't. You just can't. Comment source, I think we'll be in the playoffs again in 2024 or 25, but we shall see. I hope the Eagles make it a lot sooner, and I hope they do. I think they can. If the right moves are made, if they develop their players the right way, our offense looks good, our defense, gets the ball, and our coverage is good, but we got to start drafting right, guys. The process is now starting. We have to start drafting better now. This is what you got to do here. You know what I mean? Clifton lastly says, let's go, Bird Gang. What's going on, man? I lost my space. I'm good though. Zach McLean says Mulata by far, definitely. Tin Man said, now let me find this Richie character too. People are having fights. People are fighting in the chat. You can't fight in the chat. It's impossible. Comment says, I like Mulata's energy. Dillard doesn't have a good attitude and seems it's not care as much as Mulata. It's not that. Like, you got to be in his shoes, though. When you got drafted, you got treated the wrong way. You got redshirted for a left tackle that was already here. You're a first-round pick. I don't think he was treated the right way. Now, he got injured last year, so I blame that on him, obviously. So can his body hold up in the NFL? That's going to be another question going into this camp. You don't have any value at left tackle. You can't even compete for left tackle. You try to get cross-trained or something at this point. That's where it's going to make a lot more sense. You know what I mean? So just give it a shot, see what happens. Dickie said Mulata gets burned constantly. His footwork is like stick in the mud. Mulata gets burned. When was he burned? I don't remember that. I don't remember him getting burned this year. Don't get me started on Rager. I'm telling you, people are going to be surprised, man. People are going to be surprised. Ray Meyer says, I think Dillard is a guard. I thought that on draft day. He ain't no guard. How is he a guard? How is he a guard? That guy is not. That guy doesn't have the size to be a guard. The guy can't hold his body up to be a guard. There's no way he could play guard. There's no way. Bruce Phillips, the Bears fan. What's going on, man? Got Dave Cases. Come on, all smash the like button. Appreciate it, man. We got 234 people in the chat. Everybody, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We go over Eagles content all year round. You guys haven't liked the stream, like the stream up. If you like the Steven Nelson sign, like the stream up. If you want to support me, just like the stream up. Much appreciated to everybody that's come in today. Obviously, if you want to become a moderator of the channel, go down in the description below for the memberships. Everything support me down there. And we're going to have a lot more stuff. Check the Philly Shakedown podcast. We stream with Philly 500 every Saturday. At 9 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, it will change during the season. We're going to have more streams all weekend. We're going to be streaming the games. Well, not both of us for the games, but on some other things as well. But we'll come out with that when we have the chance. But appreciate everybody coming in and being excited for Steven Nelson being a Philadelphia Eagle. Finally. Okay. Bigger says Rieger wouldn't make the team if it wasn't for his pops. That's not dude. I think you're just hating now. Everything that comes out of your mouth is like, it's really like, you don't like this, you don't like that, you don't like this. That's not even true. But maybe he's not a number one receiver anymore. Maybe he's just a number two. Maybe that. Maybe you could say that instead of saying he just made it because of his dad. Come on now. That's just ridiculous. Hold on. Oh, Zach McClay says, come on, Star Washington is not good. They have no offense. They lost their players on defense, and they were only good against their backups. Danny says, hot take. He says, Miles Sanders will not be the starting running back. Whoa! Why is that? You want to know the truth? Miles Sanders is good. Kenneth Gainwell was a steal. 5th round pick steal. Guy should have been, an early third to a late second round pick. At least, okay? The guy took off last year because of obviously the situation. And, wow. Total steal. Was not expecting that. I think the Eagles really fell right into their hands. They're like, wow, what is going on? That's crazy. Then the comment star Giants have the worst O-line in the league, and their defense is average. Their defense played very well last year. Their defense kept them in games last year. Their offense just couldn't pull through. Okay, their defense is going to be good this year. Okay, their offensive line this year with their quarterback is not fantastic. Okay, I mean you have Nick Mullins that has better stats than Danny Jones. Okay, Nick Mullins has better stats than Daniel Jones. That's crazy. That's crazy. This is the year where Daniel Jones has to prove himself under the spotlight. That is the truth. See where he's at. So, Jeff McClain, what's going on, man? He said, what are you expecting from Travis Fulgham this year? I'm expecting more than I saw last year. I'm expecting, he's been working out. He's been doing his thing. It's really tough. I want Quez to start on the opposite side. I want, because I know Rager and Greg Ward will be sharing that slot spot depending on obviously the matchups and what team they face, and it's all about matchups. But I think he's due for a big year, and he should have had a more bigger year last year. Probably would have had a 1,000-yard season last year. At least it would have happened. But, I think he had a little injury, and then Doug benched him because Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson came back. Never put him back in the game. Had him in on a couple snaps late in the season. I'm expecting a good year for Fulgham. I'm expecting him to really try hard to get that starting job on the other side. That's what I'm hoping. But there's other guys I like, too. It's not just him. But we'll see. Thomas says, Hurts has a similar play style as Russell Wilson. Imagine having a Russell Wilson like QB be fantastic. And I think what Russell Wilson takes his value is he could run back 20 yards, come back up, and give that receiver a big play and be accurate on that throw. And that's where you get a lot of those big plays, explosive plays from him. And that's what makes it, really exciting. So it's pretty cool. Like he says, what do you think is going to be leading the team in receptions yards this year, and do you see any of our receivers? If I had to guess, it would probably have to be Devontae Smith getting most of the touches. But obviously, whoever's open is open, but should be really exciting. We're going to bring in a guest right now, okay? It's a little special guest, a little special, special. And here he is. If you guys know him as King Dingbat, you guys know him as the man with a cause. I don't know what else to say, but here he is. 3500, what's going on, man?
Don't get down. Here comes the Philly shakedown. Hell yeah.
So obviously a big day today, the signing of Steven Nelson, which was, I had to text you immediately. I was like, it actually happened. And so of course, like we streamed yesterday, it happens after the stream. It happens the day after. So what do you think of the Steven Nelson signing? What do you think about it?
I mean, I think it's a fantastic signing. Fantastic signing. You got him, I think they said 1 year, $4 million. Do you remember when we were talking about how the Eagles reportedly wanted to give him 3 and he wanted 5, and we're like, just settle in the middle for 4? Right. They finally did it. This was all poker face by Howie, but this is a great signing. Now, a lot of people want to tell us, well, he's not Jalen Ramsey. He's not the number 1 shutdown corner. He doesn't have to be. He just has to be a solid cornerback number 2, and I think that he is. And I think he vastly improves this defense. Vastly. I think the Eagles could win this division now. That's what I think.
Yeah, if I looked at his just from his stats last year, and not even just that, but he was, I think, the 12th best corner last year. But that's for a number 2. He's a legit solid number 2, and we were holding on, hoping that this would happen. But then when the Zach Ertz stuff didn't go through, we said, all right, well, how are they going to afford this, or how are they going to do this? So I mean, obviously the recruitment of Darius Slay probably helped, recruiting and doing all that. But now you feel more comfortable. So now you have Zech McPherson back there and a couple guys that can learn and from these other veterans and see what they can do, and just see what happens. You know what I mean? So I feel more relieved now. Like, I'm not every day every day I'm trying to look for, something to happen. You know what I mean?
Well, remember last week, he's like, something's going to happen in the next day or 2. And I waited all day for it to happen, and nothing happened. Then we were talking during our show last night, and it was like, there's no way this team is not addressing corner before. It can't happen. And of course, they assigned Steven Nelson. I think this is a great day. Because, look, he's coming in before camp starts. Camp starts. So, I mean, to me, this is just as far as I'm concerned, football season's here, man. Yeah. It is here, and you're doing a great job on your live stream. I'm not going to stay too long, but I just wanted to pop in, man, and talk to you about this because I'm just so excited,
No, I definitely. I mean, this is if we're going to sign a corner 2 days, if you're going to tell me they're going to sign a corner 2 days before training camp, it's you wouldn't even believe they would wait this long. They've waited long on everything else, on doing something with Zach Ertz, on all these different things. You know what I mean? But we had to address this. They didn't address it during the draft, and unfortunately, we had a little bit of complications with why they did it, why they didn't do it, but. This right here, and I'm glad I didn't go after Xavier Howard. I'm glad I didn't do that. Some people are saying some people with Steven Nelson, they're not really comfortable with it, but we're not saying Steven Nelson's locked down. We're not saying anything like that, but we're just saying he is solid. The guy in a scheme could work really well, and he's got some, he works out with Darius Slay a lot and, talks with him. And you know what? You're not giving up draft compensation. You're not giving up a big money for a contract. You're not trying to make room. You're not trying. You know what I mean? You're just literally paying him $4 million for the year, and that's it.
1 year, the guy wanted $8 or $9 million, right? Mm-hmm. He thought he was good enough to get that. He didn't get the money. Now he's coming in very motivated. He knows he's in the prime of his career, and that a good year gets him a big contract somewhere else, if not in Philly. So he's ready to play. I think he's a solid second corner. He's a solid starting corner for this team. He doesn't have to be the greatest thing, but he shores up that other spot, right? People just we think of the Jim Schwartz era. We think of shitty cornerback play every week, and doesn't matter who's out there. That's gone. I expect him and Slay to be pretty solid. Oh, by the way, Anthony Harris is a safety. Your secondary is completely different. Your linebacking core, I like the Wilson signing. I still don't. I still wonder about some of these young linebackers. They're gonna have to prove themselves. But if the defensive line can get to the quarterback this year, if people like Derek Barnett can step up, this is going to be a pretty good defense. It's going to be a pretty good defense, but it's still predicated on the pass rush. The Eagles always will be, but this is a big upgrade today to bring him in. There's no ifs, ands about it.
The pass rush and the coverage is hand in hand. With good coverage, the defensive line has more time to go make a play in the backfield. With a good, with a good play in the backfield by this defensive line very early, you can cause a turnover. You can get these guys in the right position. So, I know that, Nelson could play both man. He could play zone. He could do both. And I know they want to play a little bit more zone than man in this Jonathan Gannon defense. But, like you said, like Anthony Harris, like it's all molding together now in one big circle now. Right. And I think it's going to be something great.
The guy you got to watch out for, the guy that's going to surprise people on defense is my prediction, is K'Von Wallace. I think K'Von Wallace, learning from Anthony Harris and McLeod, I think it's going to have a huge impact. I'm not a big McLeod guy, okay? Like, he's come back from injury.
I'm not either.
But, I think K'Von Wallace, if he could emerge as a decent safety, a young safety for us, that would be huge. But I love it, dude. I'm jacked.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. How could you not? Like I think because we haven't had news, it's been so like, what are we doing? What is this team doing? And now you have a good signing finally. Like, I think this free agency was a slow, strategic free agency. If you were able to rank this free agency, like I think looking back before free agency, we're going to say, what is this team going to do? Well, they can't afford anybody. I mean, when they sign Eric Wilson, underrated linebacker, they get Anthony Harris. Even Kerrigan was the most probably surprising because there was no rumors that he visited Philadelphia at the link or whatever. They never said anything about that. So then when they go after these free agents, you know what? Like, you can't even tell. Like, are they rebuilding or they really want to compete at the same time? They kind of want to be balanced out. Like, they want to still evaluate the roster, but at the same time, they still want to make some noise this year in 2021. So
yeah, well, it's a fine balance what they're trying to do. It's very hard to do what they're doing. Okay. To rebuild and be competitive at the same time. That's what they're trying to do. I think being that you're in the NFC East that is not that good, and I keep saying this, I think it gives you an option. And I want to see what this scheme looks like. I hope they blitz a lot more than they did under Schwartz, because I really think that's going to be a key. But it's a huge. I mean, just think about this, and I keep thinking about this. When you look at the Eagles on the offensive side of the ball, you have 2 first-round picks at wide receiver. You have a second-round pick at running back, a second-round pick at tight end. You have still Zach Ertz for the time being. I don't think that'll last. You have some young, talented guys there. You're pretty much set at your skill position. Now, if Jalen Hurts develops in that guy, next draft is going to be hardcore defense. It's going to be pass rush, another corner, maybe a safety, maybe a linebacker. I don't know. But it's really looking up, man. It's looking up.
We got a super chat from Danny Rand. He says 500, do the Mark Holmes impression or Bad Dog song. So that's a big Dingbat Nation.
Hey, friends. Mark Holmes. What's your buddy? Cowboy Joe Boo. And I just want to say thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Network. Bad Dog is a mad dog because he knows the Giants always stink. There's my Mark Holmes for the day. There you go.
There you go.
Thank
you.
Mark Holmes, we're coming for your meat.
Yeah, it's a crazy day today. It's something I wasn't expecting, and I would have, because I was already out by the time I was going to go on Philly 500's live stream today, but I didn't have time. I was already out of the door. So when I went on Twitter one time today, and the one time I came, it was like 2 minutes ago. The Eagles tweeted out that they signed Steve, and I made sure I was like, microscope in. Is there a check mark? Like making sure that account was real. And it was, and I was like, "Wow, it actually happened!" Like,
I got a notification, and I was on the highway in traffic. I'm going, I'm not home. Shit, it's gonna take me 45 minutes. You mother humpers. And they got the people in California don't know how to drive. Let me tell you about the people out here. No offense to people out here, but you can't drive. At least the people where I live, they're oblivious to everything around them.
Yeah.
So they're just like, oh, I think I'll switch lanes. Don't look. I think I'll park here. Don't look. I'll park here where this handicapped person in a wheelchair is trying to cross. They don't have any. They have no idea what's going on around them. Very annoying. But I'll say this: the worst drivers in the world, Northern Virginians. They're the worst.
Bad, huh?
Yeah, Mark Holmes can't drive. Come for your meats, Mark Holmes.
There are a lot of people in the chat today have talked about, like, I talked a lot of people don't like Reagor. A lot of people are like, how can you single? So that's not even about Reagor. They talk about Reagor. They talk about Kevon Wallace. Kevon Wallace didn't do anything last year. Like, I've been reading a lot of stuff from people. I'm like, how can you talk about this defense or this offense from last year? Half of these guys didn't have any chance because they didn't have the chance to get on the field. And if they had a chance and they were playing well, they didn't last long on the field because of veteran favoritism coming back onto the field. So it just makes no sense. Like, Reagor's got, so one guy came in and said Reagor is on this team because his dad.
His dad? His dad wasn't Reggie White.
Well, his dad wasn't anything special, but it's not like.
Yeah. Well, here's how I see this whole thing, because there is a lot of people that they give up on Reagor, give up on Kevon off a rookie year, right? Now, we know every team in the NFL did not have guys in OTAs, did not have rookie camps, did not have preseason. All of them came in cold. Now,
Right.
The truth is, when you're dealing with a coach that does not develop talent and young players and does not want to give them a chance. I mean, the only reason Doug Peterson ever found out about guys like Boston Scott and Greg Ward was because he had no choice but to play him in 2019. He didn't want to give them a shot. So he didn't want to give the young guys a chance. And then Reagor comes in, gets hurt. Kevon Wallace never really got a chance. I think that you can't judge a guy off of 1 year, especially with new coaching staff. Let's see what happens. The jury's still out on Reagor and Kevon Wallace.
No, it's just to the point now where it's like you can't single anybody out. And like Reagor, I mean, if you want to go deep into Reagor and what he did last year, between getting used on third down or barely used enough, or used for the most predictable plays, whether it's these little screen passes or whatever they did with him, okay, two of those passes were thrown at him this year because of he got injured 3 times, and 2 of those injuries are from bad passes where Carson Wentz threw a suicide pass and literally ran to a player as soon as he caught it twice.
Right.
So I mean, it's just
not only this, but if you want to get a guy, a young rookie, to get his confidence up, and you want him to succeed and build him up, why don't you use him in ways that he's good, specifically on special teams? Jalen Reagor was your best punt returner. Only guy that returned it for a touchdown last year. He gets, 2 opportunities because he fumbles or they say he can't catch it? Well, you put him out there and you let him learn. But he was actually explosive and good at punt returns. He ran one back against Green Bay. They didn't use him. It made no sense. Use a guy the right way. Use the guys to their ability.
Yeah, even Greg Ward. Like, Greg Ward wasn't. They just put Greg Ward back on the field. This is why Dave Phipp is gone. You stink. Get out of here. You're gone. Like, we haven't had good special teams since what? Maybe like really good since like 2014, pretty much. Like that's probably Sproles was there. I think was he there? No, 2015.
I think it was 2015 or 16, something like that.
It's been a while though. Like when we've been like our kick return was horrible, or it's just I don't know.
Greg Ward Jr., every game, I'm like, oh, look, Greg Ward Jr. is returning a punt. This is good for 2 yards or a fair catch. You know what I mean? Then the one time Reagor gets a chance, he runs it back. And then they don't even put him back in.
No.
How are you going to build guys if you're scared to use them? And I think that we have to wait and see. And here's the other thing with Reagor, whether this is right or not. The truth of the matter is Reagor was drafted in the first round, but he doesn't need to be the number 1 receiver anymore.
No.
Devontae Smith is here, and that should take pressure off of Reagor, dude. should take a lot of pressure off.
It goes all around. It's like, because now it's like teams have to look at watch out for our quarterback scrambling, and have to watch out for Miles Sanders. That's going to get, if Miles Sanders lines up next to Hurts, there's attention everywhere now. Now we don't have to rely on tight ends all the time, but I know that, Sirianni likes to use double, he's been thinking about with the double tight ends and using single tight ends or whatever they're doing. Like I already talked about the Eagles and Zach Ertz. Like, Zach Ertz, I want to actually see if Zach Ertz makes it past preseason. I actually want to see if this is, like, I just don't see it happening. Like, I feel like you said it the other day. It's saying, like, they may have worked something out. Like, look, you come in, we'll find something for you. Just come in, do what you got to do. Get your workouts in, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I don't know. So
here's what I think is going to happen, right? Camp's going to start, first day of practices. We're going to be hearing Zach Ertz is with the first team. Zach Ertz is working out with the first team. Preseason, Zach Ertz goes out with the first team. And then you're going to have after workout press conferences. Zach Ertz is doing everything as he looks great, all this. Mm-hmm. They're going to build him up and they're going to trade him. That's what I think is coming. Look, if you're Zach Ertz, why would you want to be the backup tight end in a contract year? Your last contract. Doesn't make any sense. And people might say, well, he's not going to be a backup. I mean, they pretty much, it's been reported that they've told him already, you're the backup.
Yeah. I don't know how much they have to go by. We have a super chat from Orphanage Builder Groom says, if the Giants have 4 rings and stink and the Eagles have only 1 ring, what does that make the Eagles? Keep up the content, Philly and Joey. It's good.
So 4 rings minus 1 ring equals 3. So you have 3 more rings than us, but 2 of them came back in the 90s, 80s and 90s. Another one came in 2010 or something like that. After 5 years, you can't talk about your rings anymore.
Well, it's like, I think the Giants and Eagles were kind of in the same slump, because after the Giants Super Bowl in 2007, I think, and they didn't go back for another 4 years. So it's some teams just don't go back. So some teams aren't close to going back.
Giants always stink. Even if they win, they stink. They just, some teams just stink. I can't wait to play the Giants.
And you haven't even seen, did you check out that they're already on the PUP list? You know how many players are already on the PUP list? Saquon Barkley is back on the PUP list now with his knee again. So it's just, you know what? The offensive line and the quarterback are the 2 biggest problems. Just to the point where Nick Mullins has better stats than Daniel Jones. That's sad. Can Daniel Jones actually get it done? I think the front office has done enough. I think they should have shut off their offensive line a little bit more, but I think they've done a good amount of, somewhat good moves with depth behind it to put him in the right position. But it's really going to be up to Daniel Jones this year.
Who was that tweeted that gave that super chat, by the way?
Orphanage Builder DeGrom.
Shout out to Orphanage Builder DeGrom, because we do appreciate, man. We're just busting balls. I just wanted to say that because I didn't want to come off like I was being rude. I'm not some other people that are rude. Yeah. I see rude comments, rude super chats, rude stuff.
Yeah, it happens. But we do it for fun, and we love talking about football, period. So, but really, at the end of the day, I think that this team could finally. It's really up to the developmental aspect of these coaches, and this is the hard part. This is the part where we have to get over the hump. We got to get over the hump now. You could draft the best players that look good statistically, analytically, whatever you want to call it at this point. But now it's up to the coaches, and it's Nick Sirianni. The pressure's on. Jonathan Gannon and the rest of his coaching staff. The pressure is on, and it starts this Tuesday, and it starts now. So
one thing I think that is going to surprise a lot of people with this offense is I think people are going to be really shocked how fast they are. They are going to be a fast offense. They got a lot of speed on offense from Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders, Jalen Reagor. Quez Watkins is very fast. I think they're going to be a lot faster. Professor Kenneth Gainwell. I think they're going to be a lot faster than people realize.
Yeah, it's going to be more explosive, definitely. And, They're intermediate. They're putting all the receivers in all the spots now. They're not just going to line. They don't want to make Devontae Smith. I mean, Devontae Smith can line up anywhere. They're going to teach Rager to line up anywhere. So they're not going to be lined up in one spot. They're going to be scheming in every team every single week. So you're going to have mismatches, plus your tight ends, plus your offensive line, plus your quarterback that could scramble, your running back in Miles Sanders that's next to him, and defenses have to prepare for all of that. It's going to be crazy.
Going to be awesome. Let me see what I got here. Hold on. All right, I got about 8%, so I can stay on for a couple more minutes.
You're good.
About to die.
You're good. We got a super chat from Styles Washington. It says, last problem is who starts at left guard.
I would assume Isaac Seumalo, right?
Yeah, Are you a big fan of Isaac Seumalo? More than?
No, I'm not a big fan of him. He's okay, I think, in the run game. I don't really like his pass protection.
Right.
I think that's an area where we have to upgrade. I would consider one of my first 3 picks next year in the first round. I would consider a left guard if there's one there, because I do think you need to upgrade. I'm not big on Landon Dickerson becoming a guard. I want him to replace Kelsey.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, then you look at some, like, even going to next year. I know it's early, but you go into next year and you could have some veterans getting traded, after this year. I mean, all eyes on Fletcher Cox. All eyes are going to be on that right side of the line next year, too, because with Brandon Brooks getting paid a lot of money, we talked about it the other day, getting paid a lot of money, and has those, 2 Achilles injuries. Lane Johnson has been dealing with, I don't know if the Lane Johnson injury with the ankle, was it 2 separate ankles, or was it the same ankle the past couple seasons? I don't know that.
I don't know, but I know they had to rebuild the ankle. It's a rebuilt ankle, so I don't know how good that sounds. But if that offensive line can remain somewhat healthy, I think they'll be pretty effective. But I do agree, that left guard spot, I am not that comfortable with. More in the run game, I think they're okay. Passing game, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think Herbig has really showed. He could play both positions very well. I mean, he took Aaron Donald one-on-one and did great. I mean, he's short, he's wide, he's stocky, he's got good hands. I mean, he did a really good job. So I mean, if you can get some value out of Dillard and try to cross, like some people are saying, put him at guard, and like I don't know if his body can hold up at guard as of this right now.
I'm one of those people who think you should try him at guard, only because I see no value at left tackle. I don't think he could beat out Jordan Mailata. So you're going to lose him for nothing. You might as well see if you can get any added value. I don't know what to think about Dillard. I did hear some good things, but I felt like it was a lot of blowing smoke out there in case somebody wants to trade for him. I will see with Dillard, But the thing with Herbig and Driscoll and those guys, the one good thing that came out of last year is they got a lot of playing time. So you got some backup linemen that have actually gotten snaps,
Yeah, it's with Dillard. It's weird because like I know at OTAs, like I know Brooks. Somebody shared a picture and it was a picture of the offensive line, but there was news that Dillard and Mailata were switching at left tackle for the first team. So
I think it's open competition. I think it's going to be open competition, and I think Mailata's going to win it.
I think so too. I unfortunately I think he is, and really it's other than the injuries that that Dillard has. I think the Eagles did not do right by that pick. Like if I was Dillard, I'd probably not even want to play for this team, or not even want to. As a first round pick, you get redshirted. You got Jason Peters that was already here. That's why even during that 2019 draft, I was kind of sitting there like, okay, it was a heavy defensive draft. I thought we were gonna get one of those pass rushers. But we didn't. We went total opposite. Howie being the smartest guy in the room goes total opposite. Apparently getting the best. Even Stout was high on him in his pass blocking and was fantastic. But I don't know what the point was. You gave him, plus you're paying him first round money on top of redshirting him, and then you throw him in for 3 games when Jason Peters couldn't survive through a whole entire game because he was getting tired at right tackle for 1 game, and that was just atrocious.
To me, he never recovered from that move. He never recovered. I mean, we'll see. We have to see what he does. And I'll tell you another guy we got to watch. A guy that we have to be critical with is Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett is a first round pick that is making $10 million this year, and I don't hear enough people talk about him not living up to what he's supposed to be. He had a good rookie year. He recovered a fumble Super Bowl. I appreciate it. But dude, you gotta step up and be that defensive end that we drafted you to be.
Yeah, and he hasn't lived up to it. Like if he gets just say if Derek Barnett gets double-digit sacks this year, yeah, you're resigning him.
Yeah,
you're resigning him. I mean, obviously we know Josh Sweat is almost becoming the better player. And you could be losing Brandon Graham after this year. You could be losing Josh Sweat after this year, and Barnett after this year. So and Tavar Jackson, Jackson is another guy from Coastal Carolina that he's got a really good bull rush, got good hands, he's got good arm length. Yeah. So I mean, there's some competition there, but at the same time, and Kerrigan obviously, but you could be losing a lot of defensive ends this year, so they have to make up their mind on what they're going to do. Yeah. Barnett's all eyes on Derek Barnett on top of Fletcher Cox as well. Right. On top of Fletcher Cox, you can't have Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox making that much money. You just can't. You just can't. That's why they drafted 3 defensive linemen this year. So I did it.
All eyes on Cox.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long pause. That's a long one.
Yeah.
I miss Adrian. Remember Adrian? Deep penetration.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. Every time I talk about Fletcher Cox, he always did that all the time. So much fun.
Where the hell is he right now?
I don't know.
Well, listen, Joey, man, my battery's about to die. I just wanted to pop in. Thank you so much for having me on, man. Great stream. I'm gonna go listen, and I'll be texting you later, my man.
Yeah, I'll be around. If you guys haven't, please subscribe to Philly 500. If you guys have not, just type in Philly 500. You'll find him easily and find all his videos. And he's the co-host of the Philly Shakedown podcast. We do it every Saturday. And there's going to be a lot more to talk about now because training camp is here. So anything that happens for the whole week of training camp, we are going to talk about. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So obviously next week it will be this Saturday. It will be on Philly 500's channel. So please check that out. Support it. You're going to love it.
Absolutely, and don't you frown because here comes Philly Shakedown.
We're not doing that.
I'm gonna go. I'm in a weird mood tonight.
It's all good. Enjoy yourself.
All right,
text me a little bit. All
right, guys. Bye.
Shout out, dude. Oh god, he's great. Awesome guy. Got a super chat from Chronic Spin Dash says Jalen Hurts, the future Fly Eagles fly. And I hope so. I hope he is. As long as he goes through his progressions, as long as he does, he goes through his reads. And, I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is never going to make mistakes. He will make mistakes. But it's all about how he faces. I think, when it comes to adversity, you take Jalen Hurts and put adversity next to him, he's going to beat it, okay? He's been through it, okay? Unlike some other former quarterbacks, another former quarterback we had here earlier. But, I'm excited. I'm hoping we don't have to go after another quarterback. We got Jerry Armanage says Josh Sweat cannot start. His knee will never hold up. He's used perfectly. Yeah, he's had those injuries, unfortunately, but when he's healthy, man, he's a great player. But that knee has been his kryptonite pretty much. That knee, when he's out for games because of it, he would have been a higher draft pick, but unfortunately never happened. But 4th round pick out of Florida State and has gotten better every single year. He really has. I just hope he stays healthy and does his thing. I really do. Hope he does. Got Ed Rodriguez says, where does the signing leave Zech McPherson? It's just going to be a learning. He's just going to learn behind, Slay and Steven Nelson now. Just going to learn. He's a project. He's going to be a little bit of a project, and obviously bringing Steven Nelson is telling me that he's not ready yet, or they don't think he's going to be ready. That he needs a little bit of work. But obviously, when if he needs to step in, because you never know when the guys need to step in, he will step in and do some good things. So I think it's more of a wait and see approach. Let him learn and just let him get to training camp. Let's see what he's got and see what he does during preseason. See what he does during our own guys, covering some of our receivers. Devontae Smith, Rager, a lot of these receivers are going to be putting in a lot of work. Guys, a lot of work. So it should be great.
We got a super chat from Robert Dredden, man. Appreciate it very much. He says, what up, Joey Shakes? Always good to hear from your channel, bro. The Dallas Cowboys hype machine is in full effect. They remind me of Clarence Badger from RoboCop. They start off talking big and end up dead by the end of the season. Camp is camp, guys. At the end of the day, camp is camp. Dak Prescott coming off the injury, that's a question. You don't have big 300-pound defensive lineman, going after his legs. You know what I mean? Like, camp is camp at the end of the day. You're not hitting your quarterback at camp. Defensively, I don't think they're going to be great. Offensively, I think they got one of the best wide receiver cores, but at the same time, I think Dak Prescott, if he plays well, the rest of that offense will play well, along with Ezekiel Elliott, along with that offensive line as well, with the offense. So, really, it's going to be up to Dak Prescott, to make this season for the Dallas Cowboys successful. And obviously, every single year, the Cowboys are talked about every single year constantly, and talked about just. They're hyped up every year. It is what it is. It's just, that's the marketing. That's how it is every single year. And that's fine, because I don't know how many more years they could just keep doing this, all the time. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But appreciate the super chat, man. Much appreciated from you, Robert. A comment star says, honestly, Cowboys are the worst in the division for so many reasons, plus their coach stinks. I don't like McCarthy. I don't care if he was Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it really showed even this year. Like, McCarthy is just. I've never been a fan of McCarthy at all. I really haven't. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it, really. J Man says, do you think this could be a top 10 offense if Hurst gets everything going this year? I think it can. I really think. I feel more comfortable with the offense than the defense right now, obviously, because I think I've seen a lot of players hit their surface or haven't really hit their surface yet. Short-term success with a lot of these players on offense, but there's a lot of promise with it. So I think there's a lot to show here. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope that they can. I think they could be. I think there's like an 85 to 90% chance this offense is going to be top 10 and they're going to be very explosive. We're going to show the world what we got. So let's see. Corey Davis says, what our linebackers look like. As of right now, you got Eric Wilson coming in on a one-year deal that came in on injuries for the Vikings last year, can cover, can blitz, could go against the run, could do a lot. That's a big signing right there. Jannard Avery going back to linebacker. I love TJ Edwards. I don't think they gave him much of a shot. Nice flash of the pan. Never gave him any more shots. I think Sean Bradley has a lot of leadership quality, has some coverage skills that haven't reached the surface yet. Davion Taylor, our third-round pick. What happened? They never started him until like week 10 of the season because of injuries. Davion Taylor was a third-round pick and never did anything with him. It's a lot of, and obviously Raptor arms, with what's his face, he became a big gem last year for the Eagles at linebacker, and obviously, we'll see. I don't think he's going to be the middle linebacker. He might just go to outside linebacker because I think some guys, Eric Wilson is better, you know what I mean. But I'm talking about Alex Singleton, obviously. So, I think you have good competition coming into. You have really good competition going into camp. At linebacker. I think they did a good amount of fair work at linebacker, brought in a lot of bodies. Like Nick Sirianni said, a lot of competition, so it does help. So we have 212 people in the chat, guys. We're going on almost 2 hours of the stream already. 212 people. Guys, haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We go over Eagles news all year round. I want to become a moderator. Obviously, check out some of the memberships, the Shake Squad Army memberships. If you guys have not, like this stream up as many times as possible. I appreciate it. Before you guys leave, like the stream up. If you guys like Steven Nelson signing, like the stream up. If you guys just love this podcast in general, this stream in general, appreciate from everybody being here tonight. We're all enjoying ourselves, reminisce through the moment of Steven Nelson getting signed. It's very exciting. Some exciting news. Exciting news hasn't happened since the draft, so pretty happy about it, excited about it. And obviously every Saturday, check out the Philly Shakedown podcast if you guys have not. Should be really we're getting into the training camp weeks now. So now Everything that happens throughout the week, we will be putting out videos for during the week separately. And then once we get together on Saturdays, we will talk about everything that has happened during training camp and who's, competition-wise, what's going on, rumors, everything like that. It's really exciting. Football's here. It's almost here, guys. We're getting there. So it's really exciting. We got Jerry Arman says Hurts has to be able to throw from the pocket and go through his progressions. If not, the Hurts era will be short-lived. You can win running, but when you play the top DC, they will force you to throw, and that's definite. I mean, I want Hurts to be more of a pocket passer than a scrambler. Obviously, that's what I want because being just a guy that's just gonna run, scramble, and not be patient in the pocket. That's where it's gonna hurt your team. I think he will be more of a pocket guy, but if he has to run, he will. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes an offensive lineman messes up on a block. It happens. I expect Hurts to, scramble and obviously scramble and make a bigger play than or sometimes, he might be better outside the pocket. Throw the football. You never know at this point, but we'll see though. Robert says, I am ready for the season to kick off and see what we have as a team. By the way, just smash the thumbs up. Appreciate it, man. Everybody smash that thumbs up. Much love, Robert. Appreciate it, man. Tim Man says, Joey Shakes, keep doing your thing. P.S. Philly still stinks. It is what it is, bro. I can take it. It's all good. I can take it. It's all good. Joseph Hudson says, how long have you been in this live? Almost 2 hours. Going on 2 hours right now. 2 hours. Much love, guys. Much love. We got a super chat. Thank you so much, guys. From CW Gearhead. What's going on, man? Says keep up the good work, man. Appreciate it, bro. Much love, man. Much love. Yeah, we're working hard, man. We want to bring out the best content possible for everybody. Not just to go over the professional way of, not really professional, but not to go over just the news, but have fun while doing it. And I think that's where we show our true colors on what we do here, especially with this channel. And obviously when I do my podcast with Philly 500 as well. And we work very well together. We're good friends. We don't just talk about football. We're good friends outside of YouTube as well. So it's, thank you everybody for the super chats and everything from all you guys today. It's been a fantastic day and really good news that we needed to hear today. So it's been awesome. So much love to everybody that's been hanging around and listening to me for 2 hours. That's hard to do. That's really hard to do. Shady Tillman says, I don't know how much Steven Nelson, how big is his signing? It's 1 year for $4 million. He wanted over $3 million. We met in the middle for $4 million, and that's how it worked out. So it was great. It was good. It was really, really good. So I think it was fair. He wanted a little bit more. We gave him a little bit more. We met in the middle, and that was it. So it was a 1 year for $4 million. All good. All good. Yabba Dabba Doo says, want to see what's behind Sanders week 1. Who's behind Sanders week 1? I don't know, actually. I mean, I'm hoping to keep 4 running backs. I'm hoping it's going to be Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Kerryon Johnson, and hopefully Boston Scott. I don't know if they're going to keep Jordan Howard or have 2 bruiser backs. I think Boston Scott maybe has a little bit more worth because he can play special teams. I kind of want to get some other guys to do kick returners. I'm not really a big fan of Boston Scott kick returning. That's just me, though. But we'll see. Rob says we need Eagles to pick up where the Sixers let us down. Philly needs it, and we do. We really do. Scott says may not be contenders, but could be a really fun season to watch, like Vic Djax era. I think it will. I think it'll be a fun year, but don't be surprised if they surprise us. Okay, don't be surprised, guys. Look, this is a big. We don't know. It could be good. It could be bad. As long as the Eagles even if we don't win the division, if the Eagles are going forward, they put the right foot forward, and it looks like we're going to be mad, guys. I'll be mad when if they don't win the division or get into the playoffs. But at the same time, I gotta evaluate the roster. Is Jalen Hurts? Was Jalen Hurts capable to be a franchise quarterback? Is he doing enough? Did this whole team do enough? Developmental process. Did the coaches do enough? Did Jonathan Gannon, Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, did all these coaches do right by these players? And did we see enough to say, hey, I feel comfortable going to 2022, all these draft picks, and, it's exciting. It really is.
So I think that's what we have to watch out for. Got a super chat from Joseph Hudson. Appreciate it, man. He says, good to know I'm affiliated with damn Eagle Cyborg. Appreciate your dedication, my man. Appreciate you joining. Appreciate you coming in and giving your thoughts on the Eagles. That's what it's all about, man. I'm just a fan just like everybody else. I just like to talk about the Eagles, and that's it. Been doing this for 6 years. Going on almost 7 years, and just been a big fan of this team. I started this channel because there was no Eagles fans in my area. I am a New Yorker. I'm not from Philly whatsoever. I've been a New Yorker all my life. Been in love with the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time. So appreciate everybody coming in, and I appreciate the dedication, Joseph. Much appreciated, man. Jerry says Boston Scott will be odd man out. Some people are saying it's going to be Jordan Howard here or it's going to be Boston Scott. I don't know. Richie says shakes the fighting words on Boston Scott. It's hard because you need to see if Boston Scott could play special teams and could be on the roster as well. So. Chris Marina says Smith could return kicks, but I think the Eagles will be afraid of him getting hurt. That's going to be really iffy for us. You know what I mean? Like, Rager could play special teams. They could put Smith at special teams, but for him to take really big hits, I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's right for him to take the big hits. I'm not really sure, but that's really I don't know what they're gonna do with special teams. We will see what happens. I mean, take a player that's not gonna be on the active roster or that's gonna start. Take a guy that's got some speed that could contribute to special teams. That's not gonna be a star on offense. You know what I mean, or something like that. But somebody that could run and is very elusive. So you never know what they could do there. But obviously, we'll see. We'll see. We got another super chat from CW Gearhead. What's going on, man? Appreciate it, bro. He says, here's hoping we actually run the ball this season and give more than 6 touches a game. The Sanders running backs don't have shelf life they used to. Yeah, they're not. Like, I think running backs are definitely expendable. They are because they get up in age and take a lot of hits over the years, and that's what happens. But this should be interesting to see what they do. And obviously Doug Peterson, when the run game would work, he'd stray away from it in the second half. I don't know what he was doing the whole year. It really made no sense to me whatsoever. But I hope that they use all these running backs. Like, just think about this defenses have to prepare for 4 running backs with 4 different skill sets. You know what I mean? You don't know what each guy's going to do. So it's going to be interesting. It's honestly going to be interesting. It really is. We got Robert Joe in the super chat says, word on the street has it when Doug Peterson got interviewed by an NFL team this offseason, he didn't get the job. The owner told him, quote, I'll pass. I didn't hear about that. I did not hear about that. But Doug will probably be better as an offensive coordinator than a head coach, obviously. Maybe. I don't know, because maybe that's no. Actually, let me take that back. That's probably really wrong, because honestly at this point it's like he tried calling the plays and had to give some play calling to Press Taylor and had to do all these other things. I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong thing to say. I mean, he needed offensive gurus with him, like Rich Sangarell and obviously Marty came back, and that didn't work out whatsoever. And Press Taylor as the quarterback coach, what did he do to help the quarterback this past from last year's offseason? I have no idea. It kind of confuses me at some point. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But it's a little confusing. But we'll see, though. Torville says, I think we have kick return candidates. Punt returns are a bigger issue. Rager could do it. But he does not. But he does drop some. Can't have fumbles there. Ward can't return kicks or punts. No, I want Ward out of there. Ward is not a kick returner or a punt returner. Rager is obviously, he has dropped some. Got the 1 touchdown. Obviously, with Dave Fipp not being here. And honestly, you'd think the guy would have good special teams. I mean, he used to have the best special teams. I thought he was one of the best special team coaches back in the day. But we'll have to see. But definitely something. Brian Saransky says, since now he signed Nelson, does it change your mind about the Eagles winning the NFC East? Well, no, I always thought, even before this signing, that they could win the NFC East. I just think that they had to shore up that corner position. I mean, there was no way we were going into this camp. There was no way we were going into this camp to at least, I don't know, to see like where they were going with it, with no corner. I mean, it just made no sense. I'm like, there's no way they're keeping it like this. Of course, 2 days before training camp, they add a cornerback. it's crazy how things work. You know what I mean? It's crazy how things work sometimes. Kind of, you know, I don't know. It kind of just, it surprises you in some ways. Rock the Artist, this is a good one right here from Rock the Artist. Says, I wanted to see Holyfield get a shot. You know what? They activated him for one game last year, and they didn't even put a one play on him. They didn't even give him one snap. They literally activated him for one game. Elijah Holyfield, he's not going to make the team, unfortunately, just because you have Jordan Howard and Kerryon Johnson in front of him. It's just not going to happen. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Because last year at training camp, he made the first guy miss. For a big guy that he is, he's got some elusive feet for a bruiser back. He did really well. I want to see more from him. I hope he gets a shot somewhere else because he's not going to get it here, unfortunately. That's what's probably going to happen, most likely. So, James Harp says, I won't be mad if we don't make the playoffs. We are very young and have a new coach and QB. Realistically, I'd be happy to win 7 games and build on that next year. Then we should be a playoff team. Yeah, no, I think I think the same way as you do. You know, make sure we in 2021 we take a step in the right direction. Make sure our coaches are developing. We're seeing good things from our draft picks. Not only that, but the players we already have. And, you know, if that works out, then, yeah, we're good. We're going to have cap space next year, going to have draft picks next year, potentially 3 first-round picks. It's going to be kind of crazy. So I'm pumped for it. I am. Very pumped for it. Richie MC says, fair shot. Boston Scott will win out, but the numbers do not help him. Running backs and of preseason games available snaps. I mean, look, numbers do come into it, but it's not. Like, if you have good players that are in a bad scheme and play horrible because of that scheme, you can't blame the players for that. You got to blame the coaches, okay? And if another coach comes in and says, hey, we're not getting rid of him, he's a good player, and I'm gonna make him flourish in this offense or defense, then you keep the player. It's not really, I wouldn't go on the numbers so much because you could put a good player, like I said, a good player in a bad scheme, play horrible, when you know the guy can play better, but it's not his fault at the end of the day. So, you know, it is what it is. We got Philly the podcast. What's up, bro? What's going on, man? If you guys haven't, he just actually, Philly the podcast just had a stream, a content call creator, I think he had a call-in show, content creator. I know I was saying content creator, but don't mind me. I'm all over the place. It's been 2.5 hours doing the stream. It happens. But appreciate you coming in, man. Much love to you, man. Your channel. Guys haven't subscribed to Philly the podcast. I might actually bring him in. Right now. Let's bring in Joe Cashels. Let's see if he's available. Oops. My bad. My other video just went off. Hold on. Let me get him in. I want to hear his words. I want to hear his words on this. Let's get Joe in here. If Joe's available, let's see if he can come in. I want to see Joe come in here and give me his thoughts on Steven Nelson. A lot of fun. So we'll see if he drops in here. Still got 200 people in the chat, guys. Guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Guys haven't liked the stream, like up the stream. We do the Philly Shakedown podcast every Saturday. This week will be on Philly 500's channel. Appreciate everybody coming in and just, going through this whole thing with us. It's awesome. It's great for everybody to come in and, give their thoughts on just the Eagles. I think it's just exciting. I think this just got everybody excited a little bit more. Shored up that secondary a little bit more. So it should be a lot of fun. All right, I sent the link to Philly the podcast. He is a content creator for the Eagles. I want to see what he thinks about Steven Nelson and see what he thinks about it. So, Eagles Uncensored Podcast says, hey, Joey Stream, my guy. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate you, bro. Have a good night. You too, man. If you guys haven't subscribed to the Eagles Uncensored Podcast, check his channel out as well. Appreciate you coming in, man, and hearing everybody out. CW Gearhead says, bring back Sproles, teach these guys young how to return punts. I think he is a coach. I think he works with I don't know if he's doing it this year. He worked with I think he was working with special teams or something like that. He might be working with special teams this year on punt returns because obviously Sproles is like an expert at punt returns, obviously what made his career and obviously being one of the best specialists in the league for years. So, I mean, you never know what could happen, but I don't think he'll return, no. I mean, that was another move that we kept doing, bringing Sproles back, and he kept getting hurt. I think that was a big problem as well.
Lou Morales says Howie Roseman has been awesome this offseason. Props to him. Definitely. It's hard for me to say it, but it was a good offseason. Now it's up to the coaches. Now the hard part where we need to get over the hump, okay, is development, is coaching. That is scheming, is everything. That is the hard part. Okay? That is the hard part of it. So, we'll see. Now, we got a guest right here. I don't know who he is. No, I do know who he is. But say hello to Joe Castro, Philly the podcast. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro? Yeah, you caught me late night. I only got like 10 minutes, but once I saw the link, I was like, I can't not come. I'd say what up. But man, what's good, bro? How you been, man?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm going over this really good news that was so surprising 2 days before training camp, and all of a sudden the Eagles signed a cornerback, and we were kind of waiting for this. But I want to know. I know you had your call in before, and you did a live stream earlier today on the signing. But what are your thoughts on the signing, just as collectively as a defense, and just Steven Nelson as a player?
First of all, I'm happy it's over. I think the drama was like crazy. It was I felt like I was courting an ex-girlfriend. I felt like I was, stalking his Instagram and everything. So I'm happy it's over. I love the pick. Like I honestly, I've been trying to figure out something that could be wrong with it, just because when things seem this perfect, something's wrong, right? But like realistically, there's no losing situation here. I think at worst we have a good second cornerback, and I think he has the potential to be way better than that. And it helps the young guys, like part of me kind of was thinking maybe this hurts the young guys, maybe that, they lose out on some snaps, but I feel like Michael Jacquet didn't get a rookie season last year. It'll be good for Zech McPherson, who's a 4th round pick and shouldn't really be asked to be a cornerback too this quick. I think it's good for them. They get to learn behind 2 at one point top 10, top 15, depending on how you look at Steven Nelson cornerback. So, you'll learn to be a professional at the very worst. But I love it. I really do. I really love it. I cannot complain at all.
Yeah, no, and when you talk about the young guys behind, Steven Nelson and Darius Slay, like, let the guys learn, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if they signed Steven Nelson, they knew that maybe Zech McPherson's going to be more of not a long project, but at least somebody that they could, bring along, and maybe next year he'll get a shot. I don't know. I mean, Darius Slay's on contract till after next year, and that's it. So, I mean, the Eagles are back to square one on finding cornerbacks because you lose Steven Nelson after this year. So, obviously we'll worry about that next year. But obviously a heavy defensive draft next year, and you could do a lot more there. So
I want to actually ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
You bring up, saying Steven Nelson might be gone next year. We both know, obviously Darius Slay restructured. He's got a big cap hit next year. Could this turn into something where Steven Nelson, who I think is 28 now, going to be 29 going into the season, could this turn into something that we get him for cheap, extend him for a couple years, and move on from a Darius Slay? I mean, Darius Slay obviously not getting any cheaper, not getting any younger. Do you think if, Steven Nelson can hold his own on that other side, would you feel comfortable going with like a Stingley and Steven Nelson combo instead of Slay?
I think they could do that. Like, it just depends. Like, like you said, it's a big cap hit next year for Slay, and if they feel comfortable with Steven Nelson, they feel comfortable that he could hold his own, and maybe if he's not a number one, which he's definitely not. But, a lot of people have complained about Steven Nelson. We should trade for Xavier Howard. And, but I think the Eagles got out of this. They got a good deal because this is a good player in Steven Nelson, solid at 28 years old, can hold his own. And, he's not locked down. He's not shut down. He's nothing like that. But in a good scheme, with a good defensive scheme, he's going to play really well. And I think, when you look at this draft next year, you want to go get your number one corner next year. Go get your number one corner next year. You're going to have potentially 3 first-round picks next year. And I'm telling you, like, the Eagles, probably the first time in a while, are going to have multiple first-round picks on top of actually being under the cap, because now we're going to go through the hard part. Now it's like, yeah, good offseason. Howie Roseman may have looked pretty good this offseason, but now we have to get over that hump, which is development, which is coaching, which is all of that. So it's up to the coaches now. And and I know Howie Roseman can't, there's no extension for Howie Roseman yet, so everybody just relax. There's no extension yet. But just think of it, if Howie Roseman does get fired, then if we have 3 first-round picks, the GMs are going to be lining up at the door to get this job.
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. I'm of the thought that Howie's probably not going anywhere. Like I feel like the best case scenario with Howie is he steps away from draft, and I feel like this year he kind of did. He still had his hand in there. You know, Jeffrey Lurie still had his hand in there, but I think best case scenario, this front office trust their coaches again. Because I feel like once Chip Kelly happened, they lost all trust in their coaching. You know, obviously we had Andy Reid forever, so it's kind of hard to say if we had somebody else in lieu how they would have acted with him. But I feel like once we had Chip Kelly, they lost all faith in letting coaches make decisions and being,
Right.
you know, the GM, so to speak. You know, and I kind of feel like that's where we might have lost Doug Peterson as well. So I feel like this year, if they at least can say, all right, hey, you know, Gannon told us to go get these players. They're panning out. We'll kind of let go of the reins a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can at least see that, I'll be ecstatic, to be honest. Like you said, though, you know, a lot of people in the call-in were even saying, you know, like, who would you put it on if something, you know, was to fail? Would it be on the coaching or would it be on Howie? And I agree with what you said. That now it's on the coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
coaching staff has to prove it with this talent. This is, I mean, you got talent out there. Is it A1 talent everywhere? Maybe not, probably not. But you got a lot better players than we've probably ever had in a long
Right.
time as far as rookies.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just like you could have one of the best drafts we had in a while. I mean, obviously, I think we questioned the draft as in, you know, there was two things that happened. The second round pick was probably the thing that was very iffy because Lance Dickerson was more as a analytics pick, like, oh, he's got a lot of ceiling, but who cares if he messed up his knee twice and his ankle twice? And we, you know what I mean? Like, who cares about that? But at the same time, you know, if Lance Dickerson works out next year, that draft just got more juicy. That draft just went up a huge rank just from him working out to be our starting center when Jason Kelce retires. But, you know, like you said, like even with you know the development process and obviously I think Nick Sirianni definitely had his hand in this draft just a little bit. Like you said, you saw a little bit of Howie doing his own stuff just a little bit.
Exactly.
I think Nick definitely had a little bit. You know, Gannon definitely had a little bit with, you know, I think with the Milton pick, you know, with some of these other guys, I think he had some hand in there, but at the same time, you know, he's got a little bit of control, and I think, you know, his ear has been talked in by some of these coaches on some of these picks, and you know, maybe he's on a short leash, but not too much of a long leash. You know what I mean, where he could do too much or whatever he wants, but. We're starting to see that they're not bringing we're not bringing the same players back. We're not, besides like Jordan Howard that had no interest and it was dry and whatever with
Exactly,
that,
yeah.
but no Jason Peters and no, you know, we're not doing that anymore. I think this team is starting to change, and it starts with Nick Sirianni changing the culture, and then obviously the players will follow that. So when it comes down to it, you know, I think I feel more comfortable with the offense, obviously, more than the defense, just because I think we know this offense so well with some of these receivers, short-term success, these guys barely hitting the surface and never giving them a chance last year. Just unbelievable. Like, even in the chat today, I've been streaming for 2.5 hours, and all I've been hearing from everybody is, like, that Rager's not going to do anything, and Rager's a bust, and I can't stand when. How can you just take and look? Well, why do you want to get rid of Zach Ertz? Like if the offense played bad, why is Zach Ertz leaving? You know, it's a whole thing. Even though I know Zach Ertz is probably, I'm telling you right now, Zach Ertz is not going to make it past preseason. I'm telling. I don't think it's happening.
It comes down to being, I don't even want to say realistic, because at the end of the day, I understand, you know, having that fandom and wanting to see the players that you love still on the team, but that's what got us in this situation. You know, after 2017, we started giving out thank you contracts. You know, the league is about what have you done for me lately, and we gave out a lot of contracts, gave out a lot of money to a lot of players that did something for us 2 or 3 years prior to that contract.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's time to start looking at the young guys and moving on. It sucks. It's a tough transition because there's going to be a lot of big names that are going to leave, you know, and Zach Ertz is starting that trend probably. But he might stay, you know, and we'll see what happens. But if Zach Ertz starts sucking and they start playing him over Dallas Goedert, the same people that are saying Zach Ertz shouldn't leave are going to be saying, you know, why is Zach Ertz here? So it's, you know, it's a catch-22. We're going to complain no matter what. We're going to be mad on both sides, but we just need to look at competition. And I love that word. I love like how much they're beating that drum, so to speak. Like they just continuously are saying, competition, and they're showing it. They're showing it, whether it be Joe Flacco and Nick Mullins, whether, even though I might not love that, whether it's Kerryon Johnson, whether it's the wide receiver position,
Right.
now the cornerback position. There's so many things that we're doing that proves that we want competition. We want the best player at position. So I'm hyped, to be honest with you. I feel like this showed that we think we can win this division. Before, a lot of the moves were like competition, and that's cool. We want to compete, in and out of the games. But this move like really showed to me like, nah, we're gonna go out there and win some games. Like we're not gonna slack. We're gonna go out there and win some games. So I think it was a beautiful day. The Eagles fans needed it. I know we needed it. It was definitely beautiful. I still am kind of shocked, to be honest.
Yeah, no, like, and you know what? I think even when Doug was here, and after obviously Frank Reich left, and I think the contracts were unnecessary and given because of past success, and they need to stray away from being emotional towards players or trying to undo the bad things that have happened, like trying to bring LaShawn McCoy back for a few years before we drafted Miles Sanders, and trying to bring Deshaun Jackson back, getting him 5 years too late, and it's just. They need to stop doing that. And the Ertz thing is a totally, when I look back on it, they should got rid of Ertz last year or the year before that. They probably should have at that point. You know what I mean? Like now Dallas Goedert's going to be a starter, but now Zach Ertz is staying, and I don't think he's making it to the season. I think honestly it's just they've worked something out to where he's gonna work. He's gonna do his to work with the guys, get prepared to get traded. I think that might happen if they don't find anybody. That's just me.
And I want to ask you a question. I do have to get out of here, but
okay,
because my girl's about to. But anyways, I do have to get out of here because I'm about to get in trouble. But I want to ask you before I leave about Zach Ertz, bringing up Zach Ertz. Yeah. How do you feel about that situation? Because realistically, and maybe this is my conniving side, I kind of feel like a ex-girlfriend that like the rebound. I feel like nobody else wanted him, so he came back home. Like, how do you feel about that? Maybe I'm being a little,
I look at it like this because obviously I'm not there. I don't see this happening. I'm not a reporter or anything. But all I could hear is this: like the Eagles at the end of last year, they offered him 2 contracts. He didn't get the 2 contracts. He denied both. Then he's upset that he wants to be here, but you're not accepting the contracts. I don't believe he deserves Austin Hooper, Travis Kelce, George Kittle money. I don't think he's that type of tight end. These tight ends now are like wide receivers. These tight ends now could get yak yards. Like, the guy is slow. The guy's good at the top of his route. He's got reliable hands. But if you're another team going after Zach Ertz right now, I mean, I know I'm not trying to go on last year, but, this whole offense didn't good last year, and obviously, Ertz didn't play well, and he was injured. So there's not much value there, but the longer they held on to him, the worse it got, and I'm sitting here like, what are they going to get? Now it's like they can't even get a 4th-round pick. I was thinking a 6th, 7th-round pick for 2030 at this point. I don't care if it's 6 years down the road, whatever, but I think the Eagles did their due diligence to keep him here in the beginning of the end of last season, and they just couldn't get it done. So I can't say they haven't done enough. You know what I mean? You can't pay 2 tight ends. Like, we got to stop. It's already enough for our defensive lines making so much money right now. You know what I mean? Like, we have to expand on that. You have to get rid of players. But now, with young guys coming in, now with this new coaching staff coming in, now you have to do the hard part, and that's develop these players this way. You don't have to restructure from $70 million. Like, you're restructuring from $70 million. Like, the whole reason to restructure is to make room for players. Like, you restructure a couple players to fit, like, to give money to another contract or to pay somebody or whatever it is. But you're literally restructuring from $70 million. First day of free agency, we had $3 million. Like, we said we're not. The draft is our season, and that's what it was going to be. But then, obviously, they made some moves. We're like, we got Anthony Harris, got Eric Wilson. Oh, we got Kerrigan. Oh, my God, what are they doing? Like, then you can't tell, is this team rebuilding, or are they rebuilding, but they're trying to make noise at the same time, so you don't really know what they're doing. But, no, it's I haven't been excited. I think because, there's no veteran favoritism. Like you said, it's pure competition. It's fundamentals. using these players to their strengths, maximizing their production at in the best way possible, and I think that's what we're getting to, and that's where it's going to happen. So I agree. I've never been excited for an offseason this much. I don't know because we did. I don't know if it's because we didn't have one last year, or is it just like I'm just like. I think because I think we said the same thing at the end of 2019 when Carson Wentz had to put the team on his back, and we lost Nelson Aguilar with the burner accounts, and Alshon Jeffrey came and stepped on the field for 2 seconds without limping, and then all of a sudden when they were gone, we had all these new players, and it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like these guys are getting the spotlight. They're gonna get their chance to they're on they're getting the spotlight now. They're gonna get their chance to show the world what they could do. So it's like the same thing. But it's like now this team is getting so young. We used to back in 2017, we were I think the second oldest roster in the league. So now it's like you thought this year was going to be young. Wait till next year because I'm telling you, some veterans are definitely getting traded next year. At least a couple of them. We have to watch out on a couple players next year, definitely.
Especially if we're not a year away. They might, if we have a really good season, they might try to extend it one more year. But if it's a normal season, I'm kind of expecting, I think, you're definitely going to start looking at the value in a lot of these guys. But I do got to get out of here, Joe.
All right. I don't want you in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. So Joe Castro, Philly the podcast, his link, I have it up right now. Go click on that. Go subscribe to his channel. He puts out a lot of content. Please go to his channel and subscribe to him. Well, we've been talking about. I know I was supposed to. I've been really busy, so I've been.
Work. We definitely gonna work. I appreciate you though so much. Man.
Yeah, we got.
You have a good night, bro.
You too, man. Enjoy your night. All right, that was Joe Castro with Philly the podcast. Does an excellent job. He does interviews. He does a whole lot of stuff, guys. Go check him out on his channel. Does a lot for everybody. And I've been trying to get on his channel for a bit and haven't. I've been busy. Every time he messages me, I'm busy. Every time I message him, he's busy. So it's been back and forth a little bit. But let's go. We got a super chat, late super chat. Appreciate it. I was kind of trying to keep the link up so everyone can subscribe to his channel. So this is late. So I'm very sorry for going over this super chat too late. Robert Gravito says 100% how he trades for Watson if Hurts struggles. I think there's legit interest in Deshaun Watson 100%. I agree with this. I somewhat agree with this. Definitely. I think they'll try to give a shot at it. If that's the case next year, then yeah. And if Watson comes here, he's here. He's got weapons, and you have a lot of picks. You got a lot of stuff to do next year in the offseason. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping Hurts. I want Hurts to work out. That's just me. So. It is what it is. Jeff Murphy says, wow, just came home from my ED shift and saw this news, made a bad day much better. Appreciate it, man. I had a really bad day yesterday. I had family stuff going on yesterday. I had a really stressful day yesterday, so I know what that's like, man. Trust me. You have those bad days, and then those good news comes in. Nina says, two of my favorite collabing. Appreciate it, Nina. Appreciate it a lot. Jerry says, no, don't say no Jason Peters. You never know. Oh, you kind of got to, I do know. Somewhat I do know. It's definitely not happening. Definitely not. If all right, maybe the only time that would actually happen is if, maybe 3 tackles got hurt, season-ending injuries. Knock on wood, okay? That, I could probably see that. But other than that, that's it. Kello says, yeah, but Hurts won't get a chance to show anything. Watson 100% getting traded this It's not going to happen. Howard Eskin put out, 90% he's going to be here. I'm like, where is this news coming from? Where are you getting this news of that he's 90% going to be on the Philadelphia, that Deshaun Watson's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle? I don't even know. I don't even know. But Eagle says, listen, I'm not high on Rager or whatsoever, but I need to see more. Well, yeah, definitely. He didn't show. Nobody showed enough last year. It's not even just Rager. No one showed enough last year. But how? You know what I mean? It was our coach. It's not just Carson Wentz that messed up last year. It's everybody. Everybody's involved in this. It's not just Rager. It's Wentz. It's injuries. It's the offensive line. It's coaching. It's Doug Peterson straying away from the run. It's everything, man. It's everything all together, and that's what's happened. Mika always says, do we have a top 10 cornerback duo with Nelson Slay? I agree with that. I think we do. Richie says, if Howie can get the money to work Rager for Devontae Parker trade, nah, I wouldn't do it. No. I have a lot of faith in Jalen Rager this year. I am on the Rager train like there's no tomorrow. No joke. T. Collier says the Eagles clearly improved today. They did. They definitely improved. Hold on. All right, we good. Okay. Let's see. William Galbraith says the Ertz needs to be traded. I hope Buffalo takes him out of our hands. I hope he does. I hope anybody does. It doesn't matter to me, really. At this point, since it's so late, whether he's released or traded, we're still getting $8.5 million in cap space. It's totally fine. I have no problem. At all. No problem whatsoever. Eagle Slayer says, I'd give up 2 firsts and Cox for Adams, dude. It's like that. 21 Century Native says Cox would be dealt in a deal for Watson or Adams, too. We got picks to call the shots. That's definite. But those picks are going to be very interesting next year. Really interesting. Jerry Armitage says, "What if? What I don't like about the Ertz thing is if you're a free agent, would you want to come here knowing they'll do this to one of their all-time players? Something to think about. But at the same time, they already offered Ertz 2 contracts last year. They did nothing to Zach Ertz. What did they do to Zach Ertz? Zach Ertz can only control Zach Ertz. Okay, you're a player on a football team. You can only control what you could do, not what anyone else could do for you." Okay, and that's it. The Eagles did their due diligence. They tried to keep him. Guys, Zach Ertz isn't worth the money like that. He's not worth 16, 17 a year. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Financially and futuristically, he just can't. Look, if it was up to the Eagles to keep Zach Ertz for free, they would do it. But the problem is, at a cap standpoint, we can't do it. At a cap standpoint, we just can't do it. There are other things that need to be done next year. Okay? There are other things that need to be made next year. Okay? And it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But financially and futuristically, it just doesn't fit into where I'm glad that he didn't accept the contract. I'm glad he didn't, because then what are they doing with Dallas Goedert then? Are they going to re-sign him? Or are they not going to re-sign him? If they sign Zach Ertz to that big deal, were they just going to let Dallas Goedert's rookie contract run out and let him walk? No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Torville said how he trades for Watson, he needs to change Watson's contract and how he can bring Jason Peters back to be Watson's. Oh my God, you're horrible. You're horrible. You're horrible, man. Kevin says not the Eagles, bro. He'll be traded, period, whether it's to us or not. I think Watson will get traded regardless. Whether obviously there's a lot of rumors about Denver making that trade as well. Sean Marsh says, now Howard Eskin said 9% of Eagles not only go after Watson, but they get him, especially since the NFL doesn't believe there isn't enough evidence to prove. Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then I don't know. I don't believe any of these beat writers. I don't. Joshua Stewart says, did the Eagles give a contract to the Alabama center? No, they have not yet. Have not. Land Dickerson has not got his contract yet. So that's the next thing they have to work on. Red Sand says Ertz turned down a hell of an offer. I forgot what the offer was. I don't even remember what it was. It was good money, though. It was good, but he turned 2 contracts down. Torville says the Eagles offered Ertz top 5 tight end money, and he turned it down. Now, he isn't a top 5 tight end, so Ertz overestimated his own value. And if that's the case, then I guess he did. Let's see. Sir say the cap plus $5 says thoughts of the Flyers going insane. I haven't watched much hockey, man. I'm not a big hockey guy. I try to watch, but I only have so much time for so much. Like obviously when basketball's around, I watch. I don't make videos on the Sixers, but I do watch. Obviously, I'm watching all the news that's going on now, but I try to fit in everything. I know that they've made some trades that some fans are not happy about, but other than that, that's it.
James Harper says, way to hang in there, keep going strong, all these questions and comments. Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And this is just the beginning of having fun to all this, and you guys coming here and having a good time. So I've been streaming for 2 hours and 37 minutes. We still are going strong with 181 people in the chat. So if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. You will not regret it. We go over Eagles news all week, every single day. Obviously, with training camp coming Tuesday, we're going to be a lot more busy. The month, the past 2 months have been pretty slow. So we're getting back in the groove of things now. So if you guys haven't subscribe to the channel, the Philly Shakedown podcast every Saturday. So me and Philly 500 alternate channels every week. Then when the regular season comes, we're going to be streaming some stuff as well. We're actually going to be streaming the Hall of Fame game just to get our feet wet a little bit this year. If you guys have it, check out some obviously everything in the description to support me more if you guys have not. And obviously, if you guys have not liked the stream, like up the stream a lot, guys. Much appreciated if you guys enjoyed the stream. And, we literally have been going strong for a while, 2.5 hours. I didn't think I was in the stream. I was in the stream for an hour today. But obviously, brought on some guests, Philly 500, subscribe to his channel. Joe Castro, Philly the podcast, subscribe to his channel. And obviously, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. Been enjoying myself, enjoying everybody, and we've been doing a good job here. So we're gonna go for a few more minutes, guys. Definitely a few more minutes. I don't want to hold anybody up today. I usually don't stream actually I do stream. I haven't streamed this long in a while, so it's been a lot of fun today. Jeff Murray says all these one-year deals will make for a really interesting situation next year. Definitely. But I think it's good, though, because then if you overpay a player and they don't play well, then you're stuck. You know what I mean? So I think it's gone pretty, I think it's been fair. I don't like one-year deals that much. I like 2-year deals to where if you could, release them after a year, you don't get hit with any dead cap. So it does make a lot of sense there. So Eagle says moral of the story is Ertz did this all to himself, period. They offered 2 contracts. You know what I mean? If they try to offer 2 contracts to make him a top 5 tight end, and then you don't accept it, then I don't know then. We got Liz Roberto says, let's go. Hopefully we have a good season this year, and I'm hoping for that as well. Robert Gravino says, if when Cox's trade defensive tackle becomes a top priority in the draft. If Milton Williams, I'm looking for Milton Williams this year. Milton Williams, he's got very good short area quickness, explosiveness off the line. If Milton Williams explodes this year, okay, it's going to be really good. I mean, he's a 3rd-round pick, obviously, and as a rotational guy, if he makes some noise this year, I'm going to be very happy. Teron Jackson from Coastal Carolina at defensive end, and obviously Milton Williams. Those are the 2 players I'm looking at a lot right now. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. But you know what? I don't. If they really have to go into free agency, if they have to do that, it's a whole different story. But at the same time, you're gonna have draft picks. You're gonna have cap space. You know what I mean? And obviously you could go draft. It's a defensive heavy draft next year. So it should be a lot of fun. Brian Saransky says the Eagles will be top 5 defense next year and top 15 offense. I think top 10 offense and defense is going to be a big mystery for me, man, and how they use these players this year in the competition. It's going to be development and what they take out of this development stage in training camp and when they get the full pads on and when they play preseason and to see, how Jonathan Gannon uses this defense. If they blitz, how they're using their safeties, how they use these corners. Are they playing more man than zone, more zone than man? I think they're definitely a zone team this year, definitely, but we'll see. Jeff says Nelson knew all along he was going to be an Eagle. Welcome aboard. Our secondary could be legit. Everyone stays healthy with an addition of Harris as well. Definitely. You know what? I had a feeling this was going to happen. I said last week, I said Nelson is going to be an Eagle. I'm like, he hasn't signed with another team yet. It's too late. It's almost training camp, and he hasn't signed yet. I'm telling you right now, the Eagles are on this. And it happened. Let's see. Torville says Eagles top 10 offense, but probably around 20 to 25 defense. I think there will be an adjustment period and still won't have a lot of depth at linebacker and cornerback. Cornerback, not a lot of depth between McPherson and Maddox and Josiah Scott, but
linebacker, there's a lot. I think they're going to have good depth. If they develop these guys right, see what these guys they could get to maximize the production. Have a lot of these linebackers. I mean, there's a lot of linebackers right now, and they can get Jannard Avery going back to his position. Alex Singleton was a big gem last year. Eric Wilson had a monster year last year for a really injured linebacker core for the Vikings last year. You know, TJ Edwards was a flash in the pan. They never gave more of a chance with. Sean Bradley's got leadership quality. I mean, with coverage. I mean, there's a lot. Davion Taylor never really got a chance, drafted in the third round. I mean, there's so many guys right now. There's more mystery. Like, we don't know if we don't have linebackers. We have more mystery than weakness because we don't know the weakness yet. We don't know if we have a weakness at linebacker. Obviously, there's more of a competition now. So I'm good with the linebackers. I'm excited to see what Nick Rallis, the linebacker coach from the Vikings, came over to Philadelphia. He was a former linebacker as well, and has coached Eric Wilson and some of these other guys. So I'm excited for Nick Rallis to get his hands on these guys at linebacker as well. So we're gonna have a lot of fun this year. Jerry Alamish says Gannon was the hottest DC candidate in the league. Let's hope he be our next Jim Johnson. You know what? He takes a lot of his craft. Gannon takes a lot of his craft from Mike Zimmer because he was with the Vikings. He likes to disguise coverages. He likes to camouflage those coverages when they're really not, when they're really something else. So there's a lot of Mike Zimmer defense in there, which is good. But yeah, it would be great. I mean, it's a wide 9, I guess, whatever they're doing. I mean, we're going to see full force what they're doing defensively. I mean, they're going to hopefully blitz a lot more and make this quarterback uncomfortable every single week with 2 corners that could cover, that could handle their own. And it should be a lot of fun once you get some linebackers that know how to cover and you could spread them out a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see hopefully a lot of turnovers in this Jonathan Gannon defense, which we need this year. So it should be a lot of fun. Slayer said, I hope Barnett plays like trash so he can get. Well, no, I mean, if he gets double digit sacks, he's definitely going to get re-signed. If he has a really monster year, it's a totally different story. If he has a monster year, you re-sign him. That's 100%. Some defensive ends, some players blossom real late. I mean, you can't say you want him off your team until you see how he plays. You can say the same thing about Brandon Graham. Started real late. He didn't really have great years until late in his career. So that's just what happens. You know what I mean? It's just what happens. You know what I mean? Miri Joanna, what's going on, man? Richie says, if you're going to hope for something, hope that he balls out. And I think that's a perfect thing to say. We just need to see before we give up. You know what I mean? Drew Mo one says, you think Gannon will bring the best out of Nelson? Look, Gannon was a cornerback coach for the Colts, turning Xavier Rhodes' career around and a lot of other corners. I mean, he did a really good job of cornerbacks, and obviously is working with, has hired his pretty much, Nick Sirianni has hired his staff, but obviously in collaboration with Jonathan Gannon has hired his defensive staff as well. And Gannon, I think they're going to use, obviously Jim Schwartz did not use cornerbacks the right way, and it is what it is, but we'll see. We'll see down the road. But other than that, guys, I had a really good time tonight. Everybody that's joining, appreciate everybody being here tonight. If you guys, before you leave, subscribe to the channel. We go over Eagles news all year round. And we're almost going 3-hour stream right now, so I'm definitely going to take a little break. And obviously, we'll be back tomorrow with some videos tomorrow. Probably by tomorrow night we'll have some videos, something like that. I already have some stuff planned out for tomorrow, but definitely had a good time. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't. Like the stream before you leave. Really helps the channel out a lot and support. If you guys like the Steven Nelson signing, like this video up like crazy. And we're going to get this going. So, obviously, the Philly Shakedown podcast every single week we go over. We're going to go over training camp. We're going to go over, once training camp comes, there's going to be news every single day. We'll have videos every single day on training camp and what we're doing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be really excited, and that's pretty much it. So I thank everybody for the membership, super chats. Everybody that supported today and hopefully, still going to show up the next stream that we do, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun time. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Hope everybody has a fantastic night and a good night, and we all deserve it as Eagles fans.
And that's pretty much it. So we will see you tomorrow with the next video. Guys, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. And remember, Shake Squad up, Flawless Fly. Peace out, guys. Peace.